Hello, it's Talen Lee, and I'm here with my favorite thing.
That's me!
That is talking to my wife, my
Oh,
favorite person,
sure.
who I love,
Okay.
about anime.
Well, you're my favorite thing, my favorite person, too.
Alright, it is the wrap up of quarter one, I think is the best way to describe it. The first 3 months of 2026. Not the season that's starting, but the season that just finished. So these are all complete shows that you could just go and watch and see all of them and see how correct our opinions are.
But you probably shouldn't watch all of them.
No, well, we'll
Some of them are not good for
we'll,
watching.
well, let's get to that, shall we? We all ready to go? Everyone got their snacks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's find out about the best and worst anime that Fox and Talon bothered to check out.
Yeah, so we're starting with the stuff that we just dropped. This is Oido Fireslayer, The Legend of Phoenix.
Hikidori Ushiburo Tobikumi.
Yeah, this seems to be Edo period or Sengoku period. I'm not that clear on the specific historical event. Firefighters. Normally, I'd find that kind of concept very exciting, but would it be reasonable to say the 3D is not up to code?
Yeah, this is a sick fucking pitch. And indeed, the opening with the traditional animation makes it look very cool. What if you were a firefighter, a historical firefighter, so like all you've got is historical equipment in a very flammable society.
Uh-huh.
And what if also the fire was demons? Question mark. So I was kind of hyped for this once I saw what was going on, and then we watched the first episode, and it's fully 3D, and it's not the okay kind of 3D where they're at least trying something new and different.
Mm-hmm.
This is not your girls band Cry or whatever. This is just trying to make 3D look like traditional cell animation, and it's butt ugly.
The best 3D anime doesn't look like 3D anime, which is Bocce the Rock, for example. There's a ton of 3D in there that people just did not notice. This, you notice. And so we dropped it. I don't have a lot to say beyond that. Cool concept. Maybe I'll come back to it if I'm looking for something.
The story might be quite cool. I couldn't handle looking at it as someone who really loves animation. It made me sad. And it was too distracting.
Still in the drop, we have Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling.
Datta Saikyo Igai Mezasete? Oh, no, wait, I missed the first line. Tensei shitara dragon no tamago datta Saikyo Igai Mezasa ne.
Yeah, this is just a very tedious level up fantasy. I wasn't invested after 2 episodes, so I wasn't interested in sticking with it.
I'm not confident we even watched the second episode, but who knows?
Uh-huh.
I was willing to pick this up because, like, I just think the dragon design is cute, and I was like, okay, maybe it'll be the inoffensive kind of level up fantasy. But it wasn't. It might be the most boring one I've ever watched. It was, like, 3 seconds to the first stat screen.
Yeah.
And it, like, a substantial portion of the first episode is literally just the main character talking to himself, about how many more experience points he needs, and that shit is not interesting or fun or cute.
Yeah, this is something that I think of as overflow media. It's very much trying to be Reincarnated as a slime. And I think Reincarnated as a slime is good enough to watch even if you're not particularly into its genre. If you are particularly into its genre, your problem is that you have read all of Reincarnated as a Slime and watched all of it, and you're going to be looking for other things that touch the same itch. This probably will, but it's not very... Like, I didn't find it having anything to recommend it, so we just dropped it.
Depends what your tolerance for just bad storytelling is like.
Mm-hmm. And now, a complicated one. Does it count if you lose your virginity to an android?
Android wa keiken minzu ni hairimasu ka?
Okay, so when I say we look at every anime of the season, we genuinely do.
Well, we watch a trailer.
Yeah, what I do is I go to the Wikipedia list of everything that's been published that year, not a YouTuber who's sharing that stuff. This has 2 particular advantages. One, it means I don't pick up a bunch of Korean or Chinese media that tends to try and get onto sites like AniList as an addition. And it also means I do occasionally look at stuff that's not really being exported at all. Like the delightful trailer for the office lady who comes home to her house full of tiny kaiju children. We couldn't find that one.
Yeah,
but
I wanted to watch that.
We got to see the trailer because we did look up every name. And the preview season is wild too, because sometimes we're watching trailers that have no English at all, no subtitles, no auto-generated subtitles, no English title. This isn't one of them, but it does mean that when this name came up, I went, that's a novel pitch for a show. Sure, Fox, let's check it out together. And we watched one episode, it's 7 minutes long, and it's porn.
I was astonished to learn that this actually got a TV broadcast.
Go you!
Because, yeah, this is actually... And, you know, good fucking on it. I'm so sick of ecchi stuff that's like, what if we shoehorn all kinds of bullshit sex stuff into a story that's not meant to be a sex story?
Nope.
So I'm really delighted when something that wants to be a sex story is just a fucking sex story.
Yep, absolutely.
But also it ain't for me.
Yeah, and like, I wouldn't feel comfortable watching this with you. Best of times, sitting here with an asexual going, well, I don't see how this advances the plot at all.
How the times have changed since we were teenagers, eh?
All right.
I just, neither of these girls is for me. They can enjoy themselves. I don't need to watch.
All right, and now we have to give a pause so that we can have a bile stop. Just warning you ahead of time, Fox, you're going to need to rustle up a good gourd of bile here, because the next thing we dropped was tune in to the Midnight Heart.
Mayonaka Heart Tune. Did we watch the second episode of this?
No.
No, we didn't.
No.
Yeah, you know why? Because the guy's a cunt. There, I said it. We don't monetize this.
No.
I can say whatever I fucking want.
Red
This
lorry
guy
gunshots.
is a massive cunt.
This guy sucks.
It's one thing to be a boring, Keitaro kind of guy with nothing really to recommend him. And
we'll talk about one of those later in this whole podcast.
Except for an astonishing ability to fall on tits. But this... you know what? It's probably even worse because, this guy should be interesting normal brain.
Yeah.
It'd be so easy to just give him a little push into that category. But just everything about how he presents himself and how he handles himself is... You are a piece of shit. I never want to hear another word out of your mouth.
I don't want to waste time on talking about this show. I could. Someone mentioned it to me on Patreon that you want me to go in depth on this, and maybe I will. But simply put, this is a show where he has to carry all of the masculine energy of the narrative, and he's a cunt, and they have to carry all the feminine allure of the episode, and they are generic cardboard
They are
cutouts.
boring, yeah. They're super boring.
Oh, and also, it strays into talking about ASMR, and I think that everyone involved in this should jump in a lake as someone who does listen to ASMR.
You better not mention ASMR about Talen unless you're willing to back that up with some real knowledge.
Have some receipts. Now, are we good?
Yeah.
All right, now let's go talk about the spoiler warning.
Should we watch?
Yes. Spoiler warning 4, A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation.
Kunon the Sorcerer can see and fuck off.
Wash it all away.
Champignon Witch.
Roll over and die. I will fight for an ordinary life with my love and a cursed sword.
Oh, they put the full title on there. That's nice.
I got that from the manga cover.
Tamon's B-side.
The Casebook of Arne.
Arne. Fate Strange Fake.
See, she doesn't just correct me with Japanese words. Also German ones. Sentenced to be a hero.
Kaya-chan isn't scary.
The Holy Grail of Eris.
And Journal with Witch.
Right. That's what we're covering. That's the spoiler warning. I am hesitating before we start on the next slide. Because it's a spoiler warning. I want to give people time to get out of here.
Yeah, and normally I'm pretty blasé about spoilers, but some of these are definitely worth not spoilering yourselves on, and some of them are content warning, don't spoil yourself on. I'm sure Talen is going to leave room for that when it needs to happen as well.
We'll have some pauses, but don't worry. The only content warning for this one that's coming up now is this is the third most annoying man in anime's show. A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation, or
Odayaga Kizaku no Kyuka no Susume. You're missing some U's.
This font doesn't have proper
Oh, I'm old school. I believe you should just double the vowel instead of using the diacritics.
Yeah. Well, I copy paste them from Wikipedia, and at that point, well, point is, this.
Boo!
By the way, this is one of Google's fonts. This should have the diacritics.
Oh, I mean, Google fonts aren't Google's fonts.
Oh, I see.
Whatever Google could rustle up a license to distribute.
I wonder why they call them Google fonts then. Anyway, this
Because
is...
Google would very much like to apply their brand to anything you like and use.
So this is written by Misaki and illustrated by Sando, the only credits I have for them, on the user-generated novel publishing website Shosetsuka ni Naro.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Brace yourself. Fox, what's this anime about?
Not a lot, really. Oh, I almost got Talen to do a spit take.
See, I thought I could throw to Fox. That's an opportunity for me to have a little drinky of water, just a little drinky for me. I'll be better tomorrow.
Should never underestimate my desire to make a shitty joke. Yeah. So this is a healing Iyashikei Isekai. It's both. It's an Iyashikai, you might say, or an Isekai.
Which is how I normally pronounce it.
Which is how you know it. I was gonna say it.
You were gonna say it.
Where it's, somebody has been sucked into a fantasy realm, but don't worry, because nothing particularly, threatening or exciting is gonna happen. It's mostly just, you're gonna hang around with our star, this boy with the fluffy grey hair, whose name is Liesel.
Liesel. And his best friend Jill.
And all of these boys who are very desperate to be his boyfriend, to the point where they catfight with each other constantly. But don't worry, he's not interested in any of them, because the fantasy anime he got isekai from already has a boyfriend in it.
This anime is fundamentally a gay porno with all of the sex taken
You're
out.
Absolutely right. If I found out that this was a sanitized version of a yoga game, thank you, Elli. I know, it's disgraceful. Yeah, if I found out that this is the visual novel of this was hardcore porn.
Yeah.
And this is just, this is what they had left when they had to take out all the sex bits.
No.
But no, and it's not even actually going to be gay about it. It's definitely in that space of plausible deniability.
Yeah.
And I don't know for whose sake it is there, because, if you don't want these boys to fuck, there's nothing here for you.
Hey Fox, the web developer, do you want a little tip on what's most likely? Shosetsuka ni Naro is in part financed by ads.
Well, you can have gay stuff with ads on it. In fact, I've seen a lot of gay stuff being the subject of the ads. I mean, I'm not surprised that it isn't pornographic. I'm just surprised that it's trying to maintain any kind of pretense.
Yeah.
That it's not boys' love.
This...
There's two girls who have speaking roles.
Yeah.
And they are not here to mess up this scenario.
Yeah, indeed. One of them is basically there to make a joke about how heterosexuality is just fundamentally silly. I didn't like this one very much, but I did watch all episodes of it, and I will give it this. Elli, please. That 11, the snaky bandit boy, he's pretty cute. I think that he is a perfectly charming design, and I like it.
He looks a lot like a bunch of boys we've designed.
Yeah, he looks like I played him in Dungeons & Dragons if I ever had a reason to play a lightly armored dual-wielding character, of which I have never. But the actual show itself is a whole bunch of nothing happens. They go to a new location. They find someone else who wants to hop onto Liesel's non-existent dick, and they then have some degree of cattiness about the entire arrangement. It's fine, but it's the least challenging version of what it is.
Yeah.
If this had come out in 2003, we would have been pretty feral for it, but that was 23 years ago.
I mean, that's also a time when I found gravitation to be perfectly acceptable.
Also, over time, over the course of the series, Liesel as a person really grated on me. I think he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, Liesel is... I mean, you kind of gave this away at the top end, but he
Yeah.
doesn't suck nearly as bad as the other two suckiest guys in this season.
Yeah.
But the main problem with the show kinda is him. Like, as a connoisseur of boys' love and a vocal proponent of why can't this also be a cool fantasy thing while being a boy's love,
And they're all
rather
adults.
than just a slice of life office thing with really boring looking guys. And they're all adults, which is nice. But they're like it's lacking the kind of dynamic you would want it to have, where like this guy is maybe in an unfamiliar setting and needs to find his feet here, and that's why he attaches himself to the most badass guy in the town who can never lose. I've talked about
Named
how
Jill.
enjoyable... Named Jill, yes. I've talked about how enjoyable Arslan is as a fantasy, because it's effectively the pitch of, like, what if you were such a good person that all the best people in the world were like, yes, I want to come and work for you and nobody else.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really need anyone else, because the story can't let him be bad at anything or even, like, vulnerable in any way, really.
Or inconvenienced.
Yeah, he always knows what's going on. He's smarter than everyone around him. He's gonna die of nonchalance. He's got this weird kind of top vibe, which is like, boy, did your design not sell that, that's what you were gonna be up to. And also, why'd you pick Jill then?
Yeah.
And, he's just kind of an insufferable little shit a lot of the time. I just liked him less and less as the series went on.
Yeah, then you throw in the fact that he's a aristocrat, and this world has, it seems, some kind of inherent ability to see the superiority of aristocrats.
I didn't read it as that. I read it as every time he shows up and goes, I'm an adventurer, people look at him and go, yeah, right, fancy boy.
Yeah.
You are clearly a posh twat.
You can say that,
But they don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah, no, I do not agree with you. That would require more personality than this has.
I think people sense his poshness rather than assign immediate superiority to him. He has immediate superiority as well.
Sure, but this is a story where this guy has the magical ability to put down peasant uprisings on his own. I mean, he can handlessly, safely shoot things whenever he wants.
He can execute a bunch of rats as if they were just meaningless rats.
Yeah, it is a problem of a series. I didn't enjoy very much. Everything it wanted to express, it did in the least imaginative way. You have dungeons and dungeon guides spawning in dungeons.
That is the next thing I was going to bring up. Yeah, it's one of those really weird video gamey worlds where it's like a dungeon is just an occurring phenomena, and what it means is not dungeon. What it means is an extra dimensional space with its own special video game rules and like levels and unique item drops and a fucking boss guaranteed at the end of every X levels, and just such a weird video game shit that would only be that way because, like, well, why would it not be the same as in a video game?
It is a frustrating show. It's hard to complain about it reasonably, because just thinking about it brings up more stuff that I think should be done better. But it's also not even the worst show of its type this season.
No.
So I kind of don't have it in me to be that mad at it, because at least it has the distinctive feature of being about adults who are gay, and then throws in the extra dimension that, quite frankly, the names are very funny.
That was gonna be my last note, yes. The guild receptionist fella in the foreground of this shot is inexplicably named Stud. So every time someone talks to him and uses his name, you get just the funniest shit. That's very impressive, Stud. I didn't realize you'd be interested, Stud.
I'm so glad Stud is here to help us.
You're so reliable, Stud.
And the snake boy's name is 11.
11.
Which I think that's a great fantasy name. All
Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of fun shit going on here, all of which is completely flobbed on the execution. I had high hopes, and I think that's why I'm mad at it, just because, like, I wanted it to be something good, and it weren't.
Mm-hmm. Now, how's the bile?
Manageable levels.
All right. Kunon the sorcerer can see.
Majutsu Kunon wa mieteru.
Yeah. This series managed to go from being tedious to bad to holy fucking shit. This is dreadful in its last 5 episodes.
It's probably the steepest decline in quality from the initial pitch to the, well, okay, I guess you can't be steeper than the Fire Slayer one, but for stuff that we didn't immediately stop watching, this fell the furthest from its initial, oh yeah.
Now, this was written by Umikaze Minamino and illustrated by Elli. What the hell, man?
Come on.
Elli is against anime podcasting. It is a terrible behavior on the part of this dog. I think this dog might like dubs.
He doesn't like us talking to the ghosts.
Yeah.
That's you, chat.
Yeah, you're the...
Anyone you address online is chat. That's just how it works.
Necromancer wandering around going, chat, what do we think? When she's talking to the ghosts.
I love that. Would you like to do a summary pitch of this, or shall I?
I'm just going to finish describing, amongst other things, who made it and where. It was written by Umikaze Minamino and illustrated by Laruha. It began serialization on the user-generated novel publishing website Shosetsuka Ninaro in August 2021.
Hang on a minute.
It was later acquired by Fujimi Shobo, who then began publishing it under Katakawa Books in 2022. A manga adaptation illustrated by La Na was serialized in Media Factory Seinen Manga Magazine Monthly Comic Alive in April 2022. So, yeah. I guess I'll do the synopsis to pass it back and forth.
Okay, yeah, go.
Kunon the Sorcerer Can See is the story of Kunon, a precocious child genius magical prodigy who wants to develop unique spells and magic and show everyone around him how great he is, with this sparkling attitude and a non-stop barrage of entirely needless flirting with every single thing around him that he can see as a woman. And I bring that up that way because ostensibly this is about him trying to use magic to cure his blindness, but no, it's fucking not.
That is the pitch.
This thing is a horrible example of what is almost certainly a completely abled person writing a supposed disability. Kunon is blind as an aesthetic choice because it lets them put a cool blindfold on him. From day one in the story, he does not talk like a blind person. He does not conduct himself in movement like a blind person. He does not interact with the world. The metaphors he uses talk about, I see. Now, that might be a translator's note, so I'm willing to give them some wiggle room on how the translators into English have no option but to use visual-based language when translating his idioms. But the fact is, it doesn't even matter if he is also badly represented being blind, because he's a creepy little 12-year-old fuck who talks like a thirsty 45-year-old man, constantly hitting on everyone around him and acting as if his presence and attention is the most important and valuable thing for women who exist to lose and be shown up by Kunon, who at the age of 12 has solved all the theories of magic and also included just an important dash of the universal importance of capitalism. I think this entire franchise should burn. I think that the person who created this story has such a tiny imagination and such a pathetic vision of the world that I don't care to ever find out about anything they've ever done to make sure they've gotten better. This is the kind of thing that should get you laughed out of the fantasy book reading club. What do you think, Fox?
I have a few notes. It's not just women who exist to be humiliated and try and get on this child's dick. All the men in his life do the same thing.
Yes, but, you know...
They offer the tiniest bit of resistance. Then they interact with him one time, and then he wins. And then they become part of his fan club.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget, he's only 12 at the end of this series when he's in university. He's the original version is this creepy little cunt when he's 10.
Yeah.
It's played as a joke the whole time. And, you know, at first it kind of is funny because he's interacting with, like, his maid, his mom, and his fiance, who's also his age. So there's, like, this kind of cute thing where it's like, he's an overblown cartoon character of a romantic guy because his mate has put some really weird ideas into his head. Okay, I guess that's a personality trait. it comes with the basic setup of this character, where he's like he was so depressed initially at his disability. Did you hear he has a disability? Because apparently he does. And he's so upset by this at first that he's just a gloomy little doomer of a child. And at some point he resolves to be like, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be just a ray of sunshine in everyone's life. I don't remember if he used that phrasing, but he probably did because it's a visual metaphor and he seems to really like those. And like, that's a fun pitch. That's a cool idea. But like, it becomes more and more obvious that they never intend him to change from that or develop any further than that. His character development is complete at 10 when he decides to just get out there and do everything great despite his disability, which is definitely an able-bodied person's idea of how characters work.
He is a Facebook AI slop meme as a character. He is inspiration porn. The picture of an AI-generated blind person talking about their AI-generated struggles and travails that they didn't suffer because they don't exist.
It's very telling that about 2/3 of the way through the show, someone has to remind him that he started learning magic to cure his blindness.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's right. That's what got me started on this journey in the first place. And we were like, oh, okay, good. We're going to get back to the original premise. But then he solves it in the remaining 3 minutes of that episode. And you're like, oh, well, I guess that's done now.
Don't worry, though. It's not just boring. It's also vile. Because in the last 3 episodes, it introduces what we're pretty confident is a trans woman. And he misgenders her because he can just tell.
It's somewhat ambiguous whether this is the portrayal is intended to be a trans girl or like an otokonoko, because in the subtitle, one of the upperclassmen refers to this character as a he, but in Japanese, the character wouldn't be using pronouns to refer to that character
Necessarily.
They generally don't occur in third person, so there's no reason that it is almost certainly unconfirmed and a fucking girl in the original dialogue. But you know, Kunon doesn't care if you present as a girl or if everyone else treats you as a girl.
Or if you're a girl.
Use his magic blindness powers to sense that you have a dick, and then he decides you don't count as a girl, and that's that.
And like, he does use a lot of explicitly othering language.
He does, he's really shitty towards this person.
When the 4 girls at the head of their whatever library departments, who cares, come to duel him, he refers to them as my 3 beautiful fairies and one other. Which, like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, he's fucking gross. His response when this character... The schools all have him sussed out, so they send their hottest girls to go and talk to him because he's a little fuck who, like, just actively ignores people he doesn't think are female. And the school that sends this girl, he's like, I would have said yes if a girl had asked. And, like, fuck you, you little piece of shit. Fuck you.
And indeed, they try to almost develop this with a character later telling him that, like, you know, she has the heart of a maiden, which I think is their way of trying to, like, say, like, yes, she's a trans girl.
Yeah, they roll it back a little bit, and he's, to his credit, he is upset to discover that he treated her this way, and immediately pivots to, I'm sorry, I will treat you like an objectified prize, like I treat all other women.
Yeah.
So... victory, I guess.
But also...
But, like, he's still just a little prick, and it's clearly done for a laugh. Like,
it's the post-script.
It's a comedic misunderstanding.
After 2 episodes of non-stop misgendering of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a terrible series. I do not recommend you watch it. It's not even particularly good-looking, but it does have one of Fox's favorite things to point out, which is weird, messed up 3D anime horses.
It does! This was one of our only sources of crappy 3D horses this season.
They were also in the Gentleman's, but like...
Definitely Nobleman's Vacation as well. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Aside from that...
Alright. Now, good to go? We're done with Kunon, hopefully forever.
Trying to think if there's anything else I need to yell about.
Actually, no.
Oh, right, the capitalism school.
Yeah, and after you then, go capitalism.
Okay.
Don't quote that out of context.
Real quick, when he goes to university, they explain to everyone that they have to pay for their own housing while they're here, and they can't receive an allowance from their families or anything, because they're trying to equalize the playing field and make sure nobody has outside pressures forcing them to use magic not for the good of everyone. So what they have to do is use their magic to make a living in a capitalist system, because if you're any good at magic, you should be able to find a way to turn magic into profit. The whole thing is incredibly vile and the exact opposite of what you would do if you want people to be able to develop their skills for the use of the betterment of society rather than for their own reasons of survival. Also, it explicitly disadvantages some schools of magic over others, because one of the characters is like a healer fucking saint type.
And she can't use her thing for profit.
Literally can't use her strongest powers to turn a profit for no adequately explained reason.
Because it's fucking immoral.
I mean, that's a reason not to use any of this shit for profit.
Like, they're so close to getting it. They just walk right up to the line and go, well, it would be immoral to charge for healthcare. Anyway, I guess that means that you, healer, have to live in destitution.
Yep.
Fuck you!
Level the playing field, I say.
Meanwhile, I use my magical powers to make beanie babies and waterbeds.
This little prick can make waterbeds that are magic, so everyone's just like lining up to get 5 minutes of sleep on his magical blob orbs.
Tiny imaginations, terrible combat, holy fucking
A
shit.
spell nobody else could learn or copy, even though it's stated to be elementary a lot of times, and probably anyone who was willing to experiment on it could work it out before too long. But hey!
Here's the other thing.
This is not that world.
Elli, please, buddy. I talked about how we're pretty sure Cassius is a trans woman, right?
Yes.
One of the things I can rely on for almost anything I want to look up or talk about in these preparations for this, the notes I take, because, like, shock horror, everyone, I have notes. I'm not going to remember that Eco Round is the name of the maid that likes Kunon if I didn't have that on hand. But the nature of this kind of research is it shows me the kinds of English language presentations a lot of works have. Everything gets a Wikipedia page, pretty much guaranteed. Most things get a TV tropes page. Everything gets a fandom wiki. Even if that fandom wiki is the most malnourished thing in the world, there will usually be, by the end of the season, something. Kunon doesn't have that at all. There's no fandom wiki. There is no page where I could have gone and gotten this image from.
God, how did this get an anime?
Big sales numbers on... big donation numbers on the website and good advertiser turnover. And also... I think you can tell from looking at it, it's cheap as shit.
It is cheap as shit, yeah. You know what, I also want to call it out for its, weird fucking ideas about how magic is a better way to do mundane tasks that already solved problems.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of you have to turn profit with your magic, what he gets his fire mage buddy working on is curing bacon.
Wow, a thing we can't do without magic.
Which... And in order to use magic for it, you have to sit there concentrating on the smoker the whole time while the process is happening. So this is not just an unnecessary use of magic for something that we didn't need help with. It's also wildly inefficient.
Uh-huh.
And there's the same thing earlier with Kunon making a fucking sauna that apparently his whole family is just loopy for. You know, no one wants to miss out on Kunon's special sauna. And, like, it's just putting water on rocks. Anyone can put water on rocks!
Okay, final thing. Absolutely final thing. After this, we're going to move on from Kunon, okay?
Yeah.
His dad looks like him with a pasted-on mustache.
It's very funny! There's a certain Genshin Impact effect that I've noticed where, like, they're very good at making all their fucking, Bishoujo characters and the two distinct varieties of hot boy. And then when you have an NPC who's supposed to be someone's dad or grandpa or something, it's just like, oh, this is... like a teenager's body with an older man's face and a fake mustache. Every time.
Alright.
Yeah.
We're done.
We're done. Let me never think of this again.
Wash it all away.
Kirei ni shite moraemasu ka?
Okay, Fox. What's this one about?
This is another Iyashike. This one is about a nice young lady who owns a cleaning shop in an idyllic island town somewhere in Japan that I don't have enough cultural context to recognize. Mm-hmm. But they do name drop a few things around it, so I'm sure it's a real place, and I could find out more about it if I wanted. But I don't. 'Cause, like, it's fine. It's just, her being nice to customers and cleaning their things. And we get a little bit of like, compelling info dumping, like in Ruri Rocks, where we get explanations about how to treat this stain or how you have to be careful with that material or how you have to make sure to, no, you have to immediately put that in cold water, not hot water. Don't rub it. You can't rub it. That'll ruin everything.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I like anime that are a little obsessive about that kind of detailed subject material.
Yeah. If you're going to make a show about someone's special interest, get freaky about it.
And they do. But unfortunately, it's also very much an anime about how you would like to be the most ordinary teenage boy in the world who's much more responsible and mature than your peers. And that's why you're definitely going to eventually get to fuck this older woman who is also a perfect mom figure.
With fat tits, which continues the Ryoga comparison.
I don't know if I am willing to award her fat tits. She's certainly not on par with Nagi.
No, but they definitely make a point of her rack. They make jokes about it when she goes to the bath, which she does every episode.
And the show is a bit too into showing the high schooler her tits and or her underwear.
Yeah.
I could really have done without that particular tone. It seems like they're quite serious about it too. Like I think it's going to be a romance between them eventually. He's probably gonna finish high school before they, before the two of them say that it's a romance or anything. But like, it's clearly already a romance, and it's just a little weird that he's technically a child. But
you know a detail you didn't mention?
what's that?
She's got amnesia.
Oh yeah, she does. That's the thing. I don't know. It's not important.
Yeah, you forgot about it, huh?
That's very funny. There's a cute thing they do in the opening, where she like faces off with a version of herself that's like obviously more shabby and not wearing her usual cute girly clothing and everything, and is pretty clearly a representation of her past self. And then she just kind of shrugs and walks away from it. And then in the next scene, the clothes she's washing for the sequence of her cleaning people's clothes are the same clothes that the other her was wearing.
Yeah.
And I think that's very cute. And like, if the idea was I have amnesia and like metaphorically this is me letting go of that because I like where I am now so much and stuff, then that would be something. But as it is, at least in this season, this single season of this obviously longer story, it's not that, because there's no kind of resolution to it. It just comes up a couple of times, and she's vaguely upset by it, and then it doesn't matter anymore, and, they don't do anything with it in this time.
I joked about throughout the whole thing that this is all because she was in her past life a mafia cleaner.
This was the joke that kept on giving, especially right near the end when there was the secret door under the floor and stuff, and we were like, oh, it's not too late! Mafia cleaner! But this is not that kind of show, obviously. Yeah. No one really believed it was going to happen.
Yeah. It is, it's just a lot more tedious than, and like, this is a type of show that's trying to have very low stakes and be very soft. We've watched a couple of them. I've liked a couple of them. This one, I don't know, the episodes that were good were the ones where we learned a lot about cleaning, and the episodes that were bad are the ones where we learned about, well, maybe she might have to sleep in the same room as the teenager, and I just don't care. Like, it's a Control-Alt-Delete style romance.
My least favorite was the one where they went to do the magazine shoot, and it was just an increasing series of like, oh, I have to be photographed in more and more compromising situations that were not cleared with me before I agreed to come and do this with my friend.
Yeah.
I guess, who isn't that good a friend because she signed me up to get naked for a magazine without my okay, and this is something that clearly upsets me. I don't like it. She's very modest because everything about her is exact girl tropes.
Yep.
She is the girliest fucking girl who ever girled, and that's why she's good at all the domestic stuff. Honestly, that's the thing that bothered me most about this. It just feels a little preachy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
She's offset.
It's kind of condescending in a way that Ruri Rocks isn't.
Yeah. She's compared against the girl from the teenage characters, as like, this is how a girl should be. Being mature means that you know how to do all the laundry and
you really obsess about using your school clothes well.
And you do all the stereotypical girl stuff. And meanwhile, her obvious high school love interest is pitted against the other guy from their class. Is like, no, this is how you be a responsible, mature boy. You effectively grow up too fast and are already employed at your mother's business. And
yeah,
it's feels a little bit like the author is going, this is how people should be.
Yeah.
Not like silly, messy teenagers.
Anyway, this was written and illustrated by Mitsuru Hattori, published in Square Enix's seinen manga magazine Young Gangan, and the main character's name is Wakana.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wakana?
Wakana Kinmei.
Kinmei, right. Kinmei is the name that everyone calls her.
With a little minor note in that the other series that Hattori has started since Wash It All Away is about gay girl monsters.
I am curious about Mitsuru because a couple of times I was like, I can't tell if this is a girl being preachy about how other girls should be, or if this is a guy wildly fantasizing about his ideal mum surrogate. And with a name like Mitsuru, I'll never know.
I promise that I didn't arrange these in this order to set things up like this, but now, speaking of mum surrogates, Champignon Witch.
Oh, right. Champignon no majo.
Written and illustrated by Tachibana Higuchi, it began serialization on Haku Sensha's Manga Park manga website in October 2019. This is on me, I think, which means I need to tell you about Luna, the titular Champignon Witch, who's a witch, and everywhere she goes, mushrooms burst up around her, and she has magic themed around mushrooms, and people shun her for all of her mushrooms. And none of this is important because the main character of this story is a noble boy called Lise, who is cursed and also chucked out of his homeland and also constantly doing trauma dumping diary entries and also is actually older than he looks, but he needs to mature into his powers so he can eventually, I'm sure, date Luna. I'm trying to not overload with detail, but the story of Champignon Witch is very disjointed. The first 4 episodes feel like it's setting up a kind of witch has a problem of the day that she solves, and you learn a little bit about the world and the way she thinks problems should be solved through that. But then at that point, Lise arrives, and it's just everything is about this kid now. Which is like, it's not bad to have the story be about a kid. I'm not mad about that. It's just I kind of wanted to know more about her.
Well, it's weird that she is the main character for the first 4 episodes, and then she's definitively not for the rest of the series. Like, I have such a sad feeling about this because I wanted a lot from it.
Oh, yes, sorry, I should have mentioned in the summary. This is gorgeous. This show has a very understated art style. It doesn't look expensive or sumptuous. It feels like maybe it's a little cheap, but it's using the limitations it has so well. It's such a good looking show.
It's definitely not blessed with the surplus of budget, but it is making really strong stylistic choices for what it wants to be. Like, it's got a very storybook look to it.
Yeah.
And that's great. And, like, I like the pitch. I mean, it's essentially an X-Men pitch, right?
Yeah.
What if there were witches in the world who had to save a world that fears and hates them? Talen didn't mention it, but the mushroom powers are like a Naushka forest thing. They're sucking the impurities out of the world. And also in this world, the impurities are people's shittiness. So, like, she literally is improving the world, and it makes her poisonous in exchange. And so everyone reviles her and blames her. And also it seems like they do actually get, like, fucking witch hunted and murdered for it sometimes as well. So it's got that kind of, like, it's a slow, meditative, intimate, personal story, with a very threatening undertone sort of lurking around the borders, where it presents this idea that nothing bad will ever happen, and then you're like, oh, but it definitely, like, you also did that. Stop pretending you didn't do that.
Yeah, there was definitely witch hunts.
And all of that could have been really good overall. But it's okay. So the big pacing problems. The first 4 episodes are a totally different story from the rest of it. It feels like they must have been taken from 2 different points in the manga. Yeah. I don't know this, but if I had to guess, I'd assume that's what's going on. And I'm pretty sure the only reason it goes that way as well is because we sort of need the groundwork of her faltering romance with a particular character. That she has to undo and sacrifice once again, because that's her whole thing.
Yeah.
She must become miserable for the sake of everyone around her again and again and again.
It's Utena for people who are sword phobic.
I guess. That's not my recollection of Utena, but you've watched it more recently than I have, so...
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. But if you don't need that, there's no reason to really do it, because all it does is lay a bunch of sort of characterizing groundwork for Luna, and the rest of the story works better if we never see that.
Yeah.
Until the very end.
Make it a flashback.
Because the rest of the story is almost entirely, like, strictly from Liz's perspective.
Yep. Lots of inner monologue from him.
And in fact, he's been memory wiped, and no one has explained shit to him. So he spends the whole time trying to get information about this, but because the only way to sort of save him from his own re-traumatization is to keep fucking with his memory, you get this loop where he can't really make any progress, and that also means he can't, grow up back to the age he's meant to be before he accidentally got de-aged by having all his memories pulled out.
Because that's how it works. When you forget something, you get younger.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I think it's actually a really good visual metaphor for, like, the only way to protect this person right now is to completely arrest his development, but also you need him to develop. Like, that's a good point of tension. It's almost like, you really need some fucking therapy before you can become a functional adult. How interesting. How about that?
Maybe something about this culture made someone grow up too fast.
But, like, because we already know everything about him, there's no mystery for the viewer. And if you do that, it should be because you're going to do some dramatic irony or something, right? But they're not, because the story's not really interested in that kind of tension. So it's just a case where we know all the stuff which they're not telling him, and there's no good reason to not tell him, because him knowing doesn't help. It doesn't make it easier. It doesn't protect him from anything. It just makes it so he doesn't understand why the people around him are cruel to him all the time and fucking with him in ways he can't understand. It's weird and nonsensical, and if it were pitched as a mystery, if it were presented as a mystery, there would really be something there. She would be a distant, ethereal figure that he's kind of obsessed with for very good reasons, but can't relate to on a human level, because she's real bad at humaning, and she doesn't know what to do with him, but also there's this impending doom thing where if he doesn't get good at being a witch, he gets fucking ganked. We haven't really addressed that, have we?
It's not that important.
No. The reason that he's in this situation is because he's cursed and he's gonna turn into a monster one day, unless he can become a good enough witch to stop himself from turning into a monster one day. So she has to teach him how to be a witch, but for some reason, she won't tell him this. At no point did anyone say she couldn't tell him this. She just won't tell him. So it's just her and the crow, who turns into an incredibly annoying tsundere.
His name's Claude.
His name's Claude, yes. And he's just a shitty guy about this, because he's seen the prince in his original handsome form and he knows that she's got a boner for him. So he spends this whole time being jealous of an 8-year-old and, like, really petty and mean and vindictive to this fucking child. Who, yes, he's actually a fucking 18-year-old or whatever. I don't know how old he is, but he's ambiguously young adult / teenager. But the point is, he's definitely been brain formed into a child as well as physically. So there's no ambiguity that he is a child for the purposes of this story right now. So you just have, here's my shitty overpossessive boyfriend who's being incredibly mean to this child I have to raise and constantly giving me shitty advice that makes me lie to him and stop him from learning what he's supposed to learn, or he gets killed. It's a fucking mess. It's not handled well, and it makes everyone look really bad while they're trying to be very serious about the sacrifices they have to make and the important duties they have and how much they care about saving this kid. And it's just really hard to believe when everyone's doing such a shitty job of it.
Yeah.
It's a real bummer. I wanted to love it.
Yep. Didn't care for it myself. You good?
Yeah.
I feel like harping on it, adding anything at this point, like piling on.
Yeah, and I don't want to be mean to it. I wanted to like it. Kind of broke my heart.
Speaking of things you weren't expecting to like, we have Roll Over and Die. I will fight for an ordinary life with my love and a cursed sword.
Fuck me, I can't actually speak Japanese. お前ごときが魔王に勝てると思うなと勇者パーティーを追放されたので、音で気ままに暮らしたい。There you go. The inflection in that must have been the biggest fucking train wreck.
One day, our Japanese relative is going to come by and hear those pronunciations, and because she's so nice, she'll just pat you on the shoulder and say something like, "You are trying very hard.
That was a great effort.
That was a great effort." And then her kids will make fun of you.
And they'll be right to do so.
This was written by Kiki and illustrated by Kinta. It began serialization as a web novel published on the user-generated novel publishing website Shosetsuka Ninaro in January 2018.
What? Something has happened this season. Yeah, okay. Now, you described this as something I wasn't expecting to like, and I just want to pull you up right there. Because I wouldn't say I like this.
It's better than you thought it would be, isn't it?
I didn't hate it nearly as much as I thought I would hate it, and part of the reason is that it's not fucking pretending to not be girls.
Yep.
It is declarative, it is there. Yes, they are fucking.
Well, I had to synopsize Champignon Witch, so I believe that makes this your problem.
Okay, this is exactly the kind of revenge fantasy you think it is. This young girl, Flum Apricot,
I get to watch you make the name.
yeah, gets sent to be part of the heroes' party, but no one understands why, because her stats, which are a real thing in this fucking world,
There's a stat screen.
are all 0.
Yep.
So she gets bullied by the I'm not really leader, but sort of the asshole who takes charge, because there isn't supposed to be a leader, but if you're an asshole, that just means you get to be the leader.
Yeah, the de facto leader.
So she gets bullied by him until her self-esteem is, thoroughly trod into the ground, and then sold into slavery, because, we're doing that trope. Anyway, increasingly horrible things happen to her, until she is rendered desperate enough to lay hands upon a cursed sword, which is supposed to melt your flesh off your bones and make you horribly die suffering. But hey, if you're gonna die anyway, you may as well, I don't know, grab the sword and die melting.
Choose the way to go.
You may as well choose melting. But it turns out her skill, which is also a real thing in this world, you get assigned a fucking skill by the skill database, is reversal. So in fact, it does not melt the skin off her bones, it gives her a super healing factor, and now she's mega strong, and has the bestest sword, and murders the shit out of the slaver guy, and saves this, tortured baby bird of a slave girl character.
The maid I am, as it were.
Whose name is Milkit. And they go off together to build a life together and accidentally get caught up in a bunch of, Adventurers Guild drama where they will have to just murder every guy in the world who sucks.
Actual conspiracy.
Yeah.
There are demons involved.
There are demons involved, but actually the demons are kind of sick.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because the Church and the Kingdom fucking suck. And, I'm for it. A lot of these shows should notice that the Church and the Kingdom suck, and this one actually does.
Well, the Church says you shouldn't fuck demons.
Anyone who says you shouldn't fuck demons is on the bad guy's side.
Yeah.
And they pick up some friends. It turns out the shitty guy in the party is so shitty that the rest of the party is just kind of falling off like autumn leaves one by one.
Done with him.
And they eventually sort of drift down and settle on her because everyone actually fucking liked her.
Well, all the hot girls do.
Literally everyone in the party likes her except for the shit guy. The only ones who remain have extremely strong motivations otherwise, but don't worry, they won't be resolved in this series, because it does not go all the way. Anyway, so she adopts a family full of girls, and they sort of pair off into maternal and or romantic pairs until everyone's more or less happy. And then some horrible fucking engineered science horror monster shit happens, but don't worry, that also won't get resolved in this season.
It kind of does.
It kind of does.
It gets so you're making it sound like there's no resolution. There is a resolution. It also goes, and in volume 2.
Yes, they pick the 2 villainous threads that can be resolved, within what the season has to do, which is who is responsible for fucking up this child and who is responsible for fucking up my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, and who is responsible for, like, who's the guild drama guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, they deal with that, which is to say they kill that. But the broader plot is extremely unanswered, and I don't feel like this is getting a second season, so it does feel like a dangle for, you know, please read the next volume.
Yeah, go read the web novel.
But, you know, if you liked any of this, you're probably there for that, so, you know, I can't fault it.
Yeah, so by just describing this series, Fox kind of, like, covered most things. But I don't know if she necessarily... Like, two things. One, you mentioned some pretty dumb names. You didn't mention the dumbest name.
Well, didn't I? I don't think there's a worse one than Milk It.
Ottilie.
No. Atelier is a real name.
What are her powers named?
Oh, yes, I wouldn't have. Okay, so you've got, like, different fucking non-magic skills that are weapon skills, and you gotta give them stupid fancy names as well. So Flum has, like, prana arts or something, or sort. That's, like, the skill type is called prana, and the name she yells out is sword arts and shit, but Atelier gets genocide arts.
The genocide arts.
And, just don't fucking do that. Don't call it.
It's not just an escalation of killing people words, Japan.
No, that's not what it means. Words mean.
And two,
not okay.
This is so much more Yuri-brained than I think most people can appreciate.
Oh, fully, yeah.
But it's not just, these are girls who kiss and sleep in the same bed and adopt a daughter. This show includes a sequence of them getting a modesty shield to hold hands behind so no one has to see. Which is
a very weird beat.
But it's a reference to the idea that girls holding hand is such intense things that it's lewder than actual sex. This is a 2chan board joke, which betrays this thing's origin as a web novel.
I see.
Also, like, not for nothing, this is a show that uses stat screens well, in that they start to use the fact that you can assume good information from stat screens, and you think, when I say they start using unreliable information in the stat screen, it's not a matter of things are hiding their power level from their stat screen. No, it's that the universe itself starts rebelling at whatever the fuck Flum is doing, and she starts getting threatening messages popping up on things' stat screens.
I mean, to be clear, we don't know that that's why the messages are popping up. There's like, that shit is left ambiguous. I'm still wondering if maybe it is actually a video game. Like, it feels like it might have an author who is diegetically in existence, but this is all just, you know, guesses at shit that might happen.
Well, I put a spoiler warning out there. She's gonna go fight and kill God.
Sure, yeah, I mean, that's cool and stuff.
Those stat screens are from God.
Is God the author?
Not really.
Okay.
God is something else.
Okay.
But, like, the reason the stat screens get that way, and the reason the stat screens are pissed at her personally, is because God is mad at her, personally.
God gave her the cheat skill, and now God is mad about it.
You're not
fucked
wrong.
up, God.
You're not wrong. Normally when there's a curb stomp battle in an anime, you don't expect the thing that gets curb stomped to be God. Anyway, Roll Over and Die is shockingly enjoyable for the incredibly mediocre, level up slop fantasy that it is. I found myself liking the characters reasonably well. Milk It takes the bandages off her face, which is
wow.
a little. She takes them off, and then the series contrives to have her rebandage her face. So, like,
I kind of hate everything about her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I hate that they were like, well, you know, Flum obviously understands that slavery is wrong, so she's gonna say, you don't belong to me, but this is obviously my fetish, or she's gonna say, no, I refuse to go with you unless you explicitly indulge in the slavery idea.
Yeah, that's
and continue
edgy,
to let me call
shit.
you master, and also I'm gonna dress like a fucking domestic servant and treat it like it's a privilege. And
yeah,
there's a lot of creepy shit going on there that I hate.
Yeah, this definitely. Also, just looking at the cover, do you think this started out as an Oscar Ray AU fanfic?
I don't.
I'm probably just overthinking it. The kids these days are not writing Oscar Ray AU fanfictions.
Well, it's not that Maid Girl doesn't fit Ray, it's more that Hero Girl doesn't fit Asuka, but...
enough paper jams.
Yeah.
Alright, you good?
It's true. Truly, cannot all anime girl archetypes be mapped onto the Asuka or the Ray?
Or the Shinji.
Well, no, because there's Misato.
Yeah.
The best one.
The 4 types of girl.
I think you mean Kaoru.
Are we good?
Is there anything else I want to bitch about in this show? Shout outs to the little priestess character who, despite being just another like underage
Sarah.
Fucking church girl, I know her name. I was explaining her for the benefit of chat.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, the listener. Who is, seems like she's going to be one of those obnoxious little spore characters who is useless and overconfident and, is just there to be an annoying liability. But it's actually sweet and endearing and pretty cool and does shit. And I kind of liked everything about her. She was neat. I like her little hick accent.
The last episode has a flying guest spot by a villain from the book called Mother. And
didn't like that.
Yeah, the character is an extremely transphobic stereotype.
It's a second case of 11th hour transphobia in this season.
Yeah,
I don't care for it.
Yeah, and like he is the raft load of things, and I say he because the story seems to basically say this is a guy, but he's obsessed with being the best, most powerful mother, which he is doing through mad science.
Cool,
so,
great, horrible.
Like
Stop it! Stop it, Buck.
I don't think this author knows that trans women exist, and if they do, then they hate them. So fuck that. We have enough fantasy franchises that are supporting a transphobe, I guess. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
The Case Book of Arne.
Arne no Campbell.
A Japanese gothic horror mystery adventure game by Haruma Murasaki. I think I got that right. Harumurasaki? Harumurasaki? Yeah. With character designs by Harutaro. It was created using RPG Maker and was originally released as a freeware game via the Vaka Game Magazine website in November 2017 and is now available on Steam in Japanese, Chinese, and English. It was then adapted with into a manga by Soraho Ina and serialized in Media Factory Shoujo manga magazine Monthly Comic Gene.
I see the confusion. So it's one word. It's Harumurasaki.
Yeah.
Like it's like Haruka and Murasaki mushed together.
I guess.
It's probably a portmanteau or something.
This one's on me, isn't it?
I think so.
This is a really good
That's not a plot summary.
This is a really good little series of mystery stories focusing on a vampire nerd detective and her bestie vampire as they go around, and I think in one season we get 4 multi-episode mysteries, which vary from stopping a thief to uncovering a murder to solving a thing that wasn't actually a murder at all. Really, just genuinely a really good show. I liked it a lot. It has a truly impressive amount of gusto for letting the characters do cool things.
I wish we'd had the foresight to do a fake out description of it, because like the poster's doing it right now, right? Look at this boy detective guy. He's clearly the main character of this story, right? This kid dies in the first episode. He's not coming back.
He shows up again in the second last episode, but he
does he though? No.
Yes.
No, it's kind of amazing. I was not expecting a fake out for the girl in the background being our real main character.
Yeah, and she rules. Like genuine. I for a series that is ultimately about a very overpowered male guy and a girl whose skill is I pay attention to things, this had a lot of room to spend its time dunking on her, and I'm shocked at how much cool stuff she does and she solves.
I did expect her to be a pretty shitty eye-level character. You literally are just here so we can explain all the supernatural shit to someone, and so you can do some investigating until you get in over your head and your superpowered boyfriend shows up to save you.
There's some good use of various bits of monster lore as part of the mystery. Things make more sense if you know about how various different monsters work in general folklore, which is pretty cool.
I was very surprised to see a catchy show up, and now people might know how to say it.
And we had 4 instances of rocket fists.
Yeah,
in this anime.
yeah. We counted the rocket fists. Yeah, the additional casts don't appear on this poster, but they are very cool. Including one of our best girl picks this season, Amy, who is probably a zombie,
maybe a Frankenstein.
A Frankenstein. Some amount of self-made corpse stitching is going on here, and also like a nun and a necromancer. And has rocket fists.
And a lesbian.
And yeah, definitely there's for sure some lesbian implied. And one of the cases is overtly lesbian, which is nice.
Yep.
It's just treated as if it's completely normal, which is great. Very refreshing. Yeah, I mean, what more could you want in a girl, right?
Yeah. She's fantastic. Oh, and she's really sarcastic as well. We love a deadpan queen.
Oh, and there's that one scene where inexplicably she's wearing a suit.
She looks incredible.
She looks incredible. I don't know why they put him in suits for that scene, but you have my thanks, sure. That was nice of you.
This is the most uncomplicated recommendation I can give. This series is pretty good.
Yeah, this shit's a great time. This is a very solid B overall.
It has a good conclusion. It draws itself to a solid finale.
Yeah, that's true. This is the first of our like banger of an ending for the girl main character. Love that for her.
We good?
Yes, I think we are.
From one banger of a girl ending main character, we have Kaya-chan Isn't Scary.
Kaya-chan wa kowakunai.
Which is written and illustrated by Taro Yuri. It began serialization on Shinchosa's Kurage Bunch manga website in April 2022.
Alright, this show has the really fun pitch of what if all the weird random shit that little kids do, like, you know, just push over their friend for no fucking reason or break something that they liked and they don't know why. What if all that shit was actually ghost shit?
Yeah.
What if there was a reason for all of that, and it's because one of these little kids is the most powerful psychic in the world and has a mighty sense of justice and will punch out any fucking ghost that dares to come near the things in her world.
Yeah. Overall, I think this is a good show, but here's the thing. This is where I have to start with the content warnings, because this show starts out with this fun premise of a little girl punching ghosts.
It do.
Suicide in the second episode, and there is a lot of blood and fetus and, like, birth leavings related material in the last quarter of the show.
If you have any kind of triggers relating to like childbirth or pregnancy or anything sort of surrounding that or familial abuse, you probably don't want to jump into this pool.
Yeah. It's selling you a fun Monster of the Week story, and for the first 8 episodes, it really is. But it does, like, the greater meta plot does involve getting pretty dark, which, I mean, it's kind of, when you're dealing with kindergartners interacting with an adult world, you are going to get some pretty nasty shit showing up. But, oh, yes, and there's also an episode where Kaya, who can punch out any spirit she's ever encountered, has to deal with just an ordinary adult human child predator, which is, you know, that's a very scary scene, and I understand that for a lot of parents that might not be a wonderful one to watch.
It's a good pivot point for like, okay, the show is going to get a bit rough from beyond this point, so if you experience that and you were like, that's a little off, then that'd be a good point for you to stop.
Pull the ripcord.
Because it will get rougher from there. There's also a recurring joke where one of the characters is continually mistaken for a creeper because he
looks like a stereotype.
And he does some questionable stuff that does have noble motivations, but is still ultimately just very creepy behavior. And also, he's unpleasantly ugly and unsettling. So people instantly go, you're doing creepy stuff and you're not hot.
He's big and he's fat and he's sweaty and he carries around a camera. And as we know, fat people are deviant and big people are deviant and sweaty people are all deviant. And yeah, it's not great. But
people with sinus issues are creepers.
Yeah. But, like, the overall show, still pretty good. And I very much like the conclusion, which once again featured a girl doing something really cool.
Yeah. I also really like our eye-level character, who is Kaya-chan's, I don't know whether I should call it kindergarten or preschool in Japanese terms, but the school before you go to the schools that have uniforms and stuff.
Chie. Or Hasumi.
Yes. Chie Sensei, who is just in the position of the, like, unconditional advocate for what if we listen to the child?
What if
we
things were
respect
good?
the child's agency?
Yeah.
What if we don't assume that what we are used to is correct for everyone, and we give the kid a chance to explain and assume they're not just making shit up? And does a really excellent job as the normie who is in over her head as the story gets into the more serious, like, fucking psychic ghost punishing dynasty and all that kind of shit, and it's just way over her depth, but still, doing what you have to do if you sign up to protect kids.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. Genuinely really good show where, like, if you can handle the subject matter, I think it does
Really good show with some warnings.
Yeah. Yeah. Respect the warnings. Now, from one show about protecting people from ghosts to a show about a ghost protecting you from people.
Hi, Elli.
Yeah, the Holy Grail of Eris.
Ooh, boy, what to say about this? First I should say Eris no say hi.
There you go.
I forgot about that.
Inexplicably,
anyway, your turn to do plot.
I have no info here. I apparently just didn't wind up giving myself my notes. So I'm afraid I can't tell you who made this or how or where it was published.
Probably came off that same site.
But I'm betting it's from that same website. I know I looked at it, I was stunned by how many things this season showed up there. So, the Holy Grail of Eris is a revenge fantasy anime about a young girl named Constance Grail who witnesses, at a very young age, the death of the hottest and coolest villainess around. But instead of a isekai villainess story, this is a story where the villainess just got executed, and now the story follows on from there. The ghost of Scarlet, the villainess, has been following Constance around. Constance, in a moment of obligatory social problems, pleads for help before her whole country and her whole family and her whole everything is disgraced forever and ever and a day. Scarlet takes over her body and proceeds to that bitch all over the place, excellently using her powerful detective skills and also the fact that she's a ghost to dress down the girl who is in fact conspiring against Constance Grail. And at that point, right, the story kind of sets up and says, look, we've got a mousy girl and a titsy girl, and the titsy girl is going to be the hop-in episode character who's there to do cool stuff, and it's going to be a nice little revenge fantasy of being mean to everyone who is ever mean to you with the tongue of the worst and meanest. What I wasn't expecting was it then to go, all right, cool, we got you with that hook. What we're going to do now is a 12-episode long actual conspiracy mystery with a real political fallout and actual emotional stakes to things like people dying. Yes. Holy shit, this series.
This is pretending to be a villainess revenge thing, but is in fact a political thriller. Yeah. Where we enjoy throwing one incredibly sincere, what's the fucking archetype? It suddenly left my brain. The new ingenue. That's the word. Into a, like, 10-year-old recycling of a conspiracy. As she tries to prove the innocence of the cool villainess who's like, well, I helped you out. Now you gotta work out all my shit. This is your problem now.
How hard could that be? Oh, multiple countries are involved and a conspiracy, and you're gonna need to do some light Yagami-style information spoofing. You'll be fine. Trust me, you've got the hottest ghost on deck to help you with.
Also, everyone involved with this plot is either in love with me or dead or both.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Is that gonna complicate things?
And this series has the inclusion of a much maligned anime archetype that never gets enough respect, the fat friend. Holy shit.
Yes, Kate. I don't
rules.
see her on the poster, which is annoying, but let's just make it very clear that Kate is the MVP of several important moments in this, and I was fucking delighted to see her not just being the fat friend who is there to be sad because this friend she has pushed her out of her life. and eventually be a victim of some kind.
Mhm.
And instead actually get to do some fucking shit. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, Kate pulls a gun on a motherfucker. Kate at one point lets Constance get to the door, pushes her out of it, slams the door behind her, and fights people for Constance. Kate rules.
Oh no, you're thinking of the other.
Oh, that's right. There's two.
There are in fact two fat girl characters in this,
who are both great.
one of whom is the older and experienced fat girl who at the end like takes Kate under her wing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I understand it. Look, we occupy a certain place in a story. Come here. This is how we survive.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That said, while you were giving that description, I did go and look it up. And The Holy Grail of Eris is a Japanese light novel series written by Kujiro Takawa and illustrated by Unagi, which was serialized online
No!
on the user-generated novel
my
publishing
God.
website Shoshetsuka Ninaro.
So they just commissioned a bunch of shows and dumped them on the market this season. Amazing.
Maybe, or a bunch of studios, or one studio. What's awesome, what's genuinely likely is that one studio had a really successful online published anime recently, like maybe 1 quarter or 2 quarters back, and the other anime studios went, oh, okay, grab some stuff in that same slot for this tenable budget. Because, like, there's no connection between the types of things. They're all being made as anime by different studios. This is weird.
Yeah, well, if you want them all to be in the same season, you're not gonna get them done by the same studio. That's a disaster.
And just to be specific, this is weird because I don't have access to the information. It's not impossible. This is probably the most sensible business decisions in the world. It's just there's no narrative that anyone has bothered to go write an article about and say, like, hey, did you notice that like 6 series this season were all by one web publishing thing?
Anyway, this is a pretty good little mystery. Nothing is stupid. Some people definitely suck. I don't love the last minute weird magic sort of time travel idea they introduced, but they didn't use it to ruin anything. They just used it for a,
stable time loop.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, which I felt was wholly unnecessary.
Yeah.
But hey, if it makes you happy, it's whatever. And even though it seemed like it was going to be a third case of 11th hour transphobia, turns out it's not. It's just that one of the characters is way cooler than we thought.
Yeah, there's boy moding in this rather than let's be mean to a trans character.
Rather than secretly the evil one was a boy all along.
Yeah. This also has the dubious honor of being yet another ... with fat tits anime of the season.
Scarlet definitely have some fat tits.
Yeah,
once again, not on Nagi's level, but almost no one is on Nagi's level.
The light novel covers are a little more.
She got toned down for the anime.
Yeah, and
I'm not surprised. It's quite difficult to animate sometimes.
Good choice. Let us focus on the narrative.
Oh, also a very nice, incredibly normal brain love interest. I like him quite a bit, and I enjoy the arranged the fake married.
Yeah.
For political reasons. Developing in a perfectly acceptable and understandable way into an actual relationship.
I'm shocked how much I'm okay with the fact that there's like a 10-year age gap between them.
Is there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because
it was just that she looks like a fucking child.
No, but the thing with the age gap is that, like, I get the impression they're both socially about the same age.
Well, yeah, he can't be that young because he was engaged to the other one, wasn't he? And clearly in love with Scarlet.
Yeah.
But so was she, so it would have worked out okay.
He's 10 years older than her, but also, like, he's basically a 17-year-old
He's definitely
with a lot of military experience.
If they had told me that he was 19, I wouldn't have remembered. Oh, wait, wasn't he engaged to someone else? I would have gone, yeah, that seems about right.
All right.
He'd be in high school in a different show.
Speaking of being in high school,
I've given you a segue.
All right. Tamon's B-side. I didn't get to say Tamon-kun, even though I've done that every time I've mentioned this animated fox out loud.
Tamon-kun imadochi.
Yes, written and illustrated by Yuki Shiwasu, which was originally a one-shot published in Hakusensha's shoujo manga magazine, Hanato Yume.
Now that explains a lot.
Yeah, this is about a one-shot's amount of idea dragged out into 13 really nicely animated episode.
It is very nicely produced. I will agree to that for sure.
Uh-huh.
And if God, if it was a one shot, it could have worked out quite well.
Oh no, this is mine to summarize, isn't it?
I guess it is. I can do it if you want. It's not hard.
After you, then.
Our main character, I have actually forgotten her name.
Utage. Or Kinoshita.
Kinoshita. Yeah, that's what they call it. And Uta for short, I'm pretty sure. Do you get it? Do you get haha, did a little pun there.
I don't get it, actually, but you know.
It means song.
Oh.
Shit, well, that is one of the things that those sounds can mean. I don't know, that's fucking written. Is an obsessive fan of this boy idol group, specifically this pink-haired prick, Tamon, who is the wild and Sekushi member, which is to say, he's an obnoxious fucking horn dog who says gross things to women all the time, and we're informed that they find that sexy. Anyway, and I mean like a proper freak fan. I mean like buys all his merchandise. I mean like gets a part-time job while she's in high school to pay for more of his merchandise.
She buys all the playsets and toys.
And one day, she is called in to replace another regular at her job, where she works as a house cleaner, and she finds herself confronted with, wait, this pink-haired weirdo! Except, he's a gloomy fucking hikikomori, you know, hiding in his tracksuit in the back corner and talking about how he's human garbage and should be thrown out with the trash. Can it be the same guy? Definitely. She would never mistake him.
Turns out this performer was doing some kind of performance.
It turns out the personality of this character in his boy band was fake. Totally fake. That's not what he's really like at all.
Yeah.
Yep. And obviously they fall in love. And she doesn't want to do anything about it because a good fan doesn't actually, you know, get with their idol if given the chance. They preserve his purity, and don't presume to take him from other fans and ruin his career by having him do something so revolting as having a girlfriend. So it's a whole show of her making excuses not to become involved with him, essentially. What are you looking at me like that for?
I just realized something.
What?
I forgot about Dead Account.
Yeah, well, sir, not appearing in this summary.
Oh, we'll have to get there.
Well, in the meantime, we're talking about this show.
Yep.
Anyway, and the remaining 12 episodes we fill out by meeting all the other members of the band who also aren't anything like their fake boy band personalities. The Prince one is an arrogant dickhead who feels entitled to a position of superiority over everyone else because his parents are eugenicists. And the casual, laugh-it-off kind of easygoing, forgetful guy is an obsessive penny pincher carrying poverty trauma who micromanages everyone else in the band because he can't stand the idea of not having a successful career.
Ellie, buddy, please.
And the cute little brother one, who's just a harmless little baby, is a fucking chain-smoking drunk shithead.
And he's 20. Can you imagine being 20? Who allows a person to be 20?
And there's probably something wrong with the big buff guy as well, but
he doesn't appear in the
no, they just didn't feel the need to go that far.
Yeah, this guy doesn't show up in this one.
I do believe, and based on this poster, I can see him wearing the comic otaku glasses. So I'm pretty sure that my theory that is him we see at a Gashapon machine for 3 seconds is correct. But we just don't even fucking talk to that guy. I guess no one wanted to fuck him.
Yeah, well, you know, he is the worst thing one could possibly be, which is to say an authentic person who loves something and wants to share it, which this fangirl could never connect to.
Anyway, so the three of them who aren't the muscle guy or the little blonde guy are, like, all in love with her to some degree or another, but it's very obviously the pink one who's gonna win. you know, if she can ever stand to actually become his girlfriend, which, will she or won't she? Who knows, because the show courageously ends on a note of, well, I won't quit being your paid housekeeper. I'll come back to work for you.
Yeah. I think that this series is better if it just ends at episode 12.
It's just quits.
Because the end of the episode 12 is she quits, and like you don't need the episode 13 to be like, oh, why would she be quitting? It's obvious. So she can go and become his friend. So she can break that connection, and you don't need it further stated.
Yes, but actually, the perfect ending would have just been a stinger on episode 12 where she shows up at his door,
just knock on the door,
and introduces herself in friend language rather than work language, and isn't wearing her work clothes. Oh, well, nope. That will never happen. Also, they imply that she's not getting paid for most of the extra work she does managing these fucking garbage fire boys. And that's kind of fucking disgraceful. This whole thing, I think, is a fundamentally interesting pitch of like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if these perfect boys were all fucking disasters? But a lot of it depends on the execution. And for the most part, they just kind of suck. And, like, there's a point where Tamon in particular, like, he wobbles wildly back and forth between sympathetic and clearly traumatized and emotionally abusive towards her by virtue of, like, making his depression her problem proactively.
Yeah, like, he weaponizes self-harm threats.
He actually does do that. Like, that's not okay. These characters need a lot of therapy.
Yep.
They do not need one high schooler taking care of all of them like she's their goddamn mother. And they especially do not need to turn on their fucking boy band personalities to manipulate her, which is pretty gross and awful. Yeah, the show has a really interesting idea of, like, what if the industry was horrifying and created these ruined people with massive emotional problems who can't interact with other humans like normal humans. But it doesn't realize that.
Yeah.
So it just thinks it's telling you a cute story about, like, ooh, Gap Moe.
Yeah. I'm trying not to say too much about this because eventually I'll just start ranting about the K-pop and J-pop industries and idol culture and how this thing that a lot of people I know are very into is like a machine designed to take children and grind them into a paste. But suffice to say, if this had been a series about them and they were superheroes, I would actually be okay with it because that's unrealistic. The fact that this so closely actually just invokes real shit that's actually happening as just part of the business makes this a lot harder to like. Even though, and I say this with a pang in my heart, oh my goodness, the boys who are supposed to be hot are pretty fucking hot. I really wish we could get more guys who look this good in other shows.
It also has a really interesting art style where, like, it's not retro, but it has some weirdly retro quirks. Like, in particular, his hair is, like, very 90s in this weird way. And her as well. Like, she has a weirdly 90s design. I wonder if it's just that it's meant for 40-year-olds. But, like, obviously suitable for girls of all ages.
Yeah. Hey, girls, this is the boy that your mum's meant to want to fuck. Alright, then.
Anyway, the girls who aren't her are very cool in this show. Like the teacher, who turns out to be fucking judo girl. She's pretty neat. She's not letting anyone fucking take advantage of her for free labor and emotional support.
That story needed some workshopping, but pretty good stuff.
You know what? Actually, I'm glad they did have episode 13 because that's where the fucking kid siblings show up and stand there the whole time calling him out on all his bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're acting really creepy. Hey, why are you sniffing the bathtub? That's nasty.
Yeah, don't smell my sister's bathtub.
Gross. No, quit it. Uh-huh.
All right. You done with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, bye.
Written by the one, the only, the Ryoga Narita, and illustrated by Mori Shitsuki. Fate Strange Fake is originally a 2008 April Fool's Day prank presented as a prologue and introduction for a role-playing game.
Okay, I knew about the April Fool's Day thing. I did not know it was a pitch for like a TTRPG or something.
Because
That's incredible.
Narita can just like snipe me through the duplex.
Also, not to hop on it, Rio, go.
I said Ryoga. It's on the page
Okay,
in front of
whatever.
me.
That's not.
We'll listen to it back later,
That was
and I'll
not
be
the
able to
syllable
tell
that came
you.
out of your mouth, but let's not fight.
And I'll be able to tell you when you're right later. But right now, I'm pretty confident I got it right. Anyway, so Fate Strange Fake. This is a Fate, and I have some bad news for you. This is pretty good as a Ryoga Narita show. It's still a Fate, and that means that the great reward for watching this show is being told, hey, here are the 500 hours of homework you have to do before any of the greater narrative here makes any fucking sense. This is a homework assignment of a show, and the only thing that got me through the whole thing was the fact that when Narita wants to design characters in a big ensemble cast, squirming and crashing past one another, holy shit does he have the riz. These characters are so good.
I think you're selling it a bit short.
Fair enough.
I don't think you needed to do the homework to follow what was going along. You just need to accept that there are some things you don't know, but you actually don't need to know for the most part. Like, you can infer the importance of things.
Sure, but there are characters in the last episode who are shown doing things or on phone calls, and that's meant to get you to pop. Like, it's meant to be a big deal that one of these guys phones up and interrupts a call, and you know, it's meant other characters react like it is a big deal. Couldn't tell you who the fuck he is.
I guess so.
Why is he in Monaco?
I wasn't sure if we were supposed to recognize him or not. Or rather, I couldn't tell from the tone of the show if he was supposed to be important or not.
Nonetheless, to try and encapsulate the plot of Fate Strange Fake, the Fate games and Fate narratives are essentially a bunch of wizards make a big battle royale, and while they are player unknowning the battleground, the victor, instead of chicken, gets some variety of wish, which doesn't seem to make any meaningful difference. So a bunch of people show up with their stands, except their stands are separate people who you can fuck, and they all have a big fight, which is mostly about going, which one are you again? And they all work that out over the course of the story. In the case of Fate Strange Fake, though, the really interesting twist is that instead of relying on the incredibly structured system of Japanese magic, what we have done instead is turned to the worst thing in the world to replicate that, which is the American government, who are running their own Grail war and in the process have fucked it up. So instead of having, you know, character and class showing up in pairs, you have fake character, fake class, real character, real class. So you've got twice as many of them, and they're even more confusing.
Is that what's going on?
I think that's what's going on. It might not actually be the American government, but the impression I got was that it's the American government doing a Trinity-style test.
Oh, I meant the fake character, fake class thing.
I think. I've tried to avoid doing homework on this one, but it's kind of inescapable when you want to look up the names of these characters. By the way, the entry of my notes for all the other anime, it's like main character name, best friend name, all the like 2 or 3 names in a list and stuff like that. But for this, it's got Ayaka, Richa, Teen Shell, Tsubaki, Orlando, Jester, Flat, Synthetic, Sigma, Faldius, Gilgamesh, Enkidu, Dumas, Jack the Ripper, Assassin, and the last note is I give up. There are so many characters in this.
Yes.
It has a very important couple of things as signifiers for fans of Ryoga Narita's work, which is to say, it's got a jacuzzi. It's got a jacuzzi, and
it's got a chaise.
It's got a chaise, it's got a jacuzzi, and they're both really good. Which is to say, a traumatized child soldier and a earnest, hard-working, working-class fight guy who is nonetheless terrifying. It also has a tormented little girl, and it has a weird vampire lolly who is, I think, fucking her time-traveling brother that is also herself. So I'm not sure where we land on that one, but it is, like, this is an anime for freaks, and it's good freak shit. There's at least one character whose name is, like, Aldersnal Baldersnatch, and, like, fucking, go Ryoga. No one does it like you, man. Like, just a shockingly enjoyable collection of extremely badass fights, stringing together just nonsense.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I don't know fuck about how fate works. I understand. The thing that I understand is that the delightfully fuckable characters who get summoned map onto like some various degrees of famous historical people and or mythological figures and or ambiguously famous and or mythological people. And that's about it. None of the rest of this shit do I have the slightest fucking clue what's going on. But it's also a Ryoga Narita story, so I don't feel like I need to know.
Yeah.
Because I am here to let all of that background shit wash over me as I watch the cool people do their cool things. And they're gonna tell me what matters by how much they care about what's going on in the moment. And I can trust them on that. Because this is beautifully crafted.
Yeah.
It is not ambiguous at any point who is cool and what you should care about.
So, and some character notes in amongst all that. It has this wonderful thing that Narita does, which is every character is a badass. Every character can do something or be present in some way to have this moment that makes you go, fuck yeah, I'm glad I'm invested in your story. That rules. And in the case, so just of the main three that sit in my head, you have Ayaka, who is nakedly the I don't want to be involved, I'm a normal girl, Saber lookalike analog for this story.
Yeah, she's an eye-level character, basically.
Yeah, but then at like episode 11, they go, no, she's not, and we don't know what that means in this anime. I think I may have been spoiled on what she might be while I was looking up the names for this shit, because of course this is already a complete series of stories.
There's a point in the show where they talk about where the real Ayaka is.
Yeah.
Implying that she is some kind of clone, or echo, or constructed thing that thinks she's Ayaka but isn't. But they don't, they only drop this thread. They don't actually follow through in the series so far.
You have a theory based on watching the ending that there is a single flash frame of Little Red Riding Hood. And she can't be the character I thought she was by the end of the story. So I think it might be that Ayaka is Little Red Riding Hood. And the reason that this whole thing of like she's not actually a servant, she's not actually a master, is because she's technically a servant. But I don't know. And the nature of this is that I don't like theorizing about what a story really means if it's well done, because so often I can trust the author to just get me to the end and say ta-da, and then that's that. This is my current thinking with the Locked Tomb. Like in the Locked Tomb, I don't actually need to sit around thinking like, oh, maybe the next book will feature this. I don't care. I know that the next book will feature some stuff that whips ass, and I don't mind what it is. I will trust in it when it gets here. So Ayaka might be that, but also I don't care if she's not.
I mean, I have no opinion on whether she's a clone or a good. I don't know. Might be what Strange Fake is referring to.
Yeah.
Or it could be the whole, this thing is somehow not like a real Grail war because it's in
not,
the US.
There's fakes running around.
Yeah, like people have talked about that. But, I mean, there's a lot of things in this which are fake. So it could mean any of those things, or all of them, or something else entirely.
And they fucked
That's
up.
just the nature of the thing. But Narita, you do get the information eventually.
Yeah.
You just are not gonna have it fall into place before you reach the actual conclusion. So I'm not particularly fussed about trying to work it out.
Yeah, which might not happen until next year when we maybe get another season, or I break and read the novels.
I do hope there's another season. It deserves one. It's
I don't want to read the
so
novels.
much fun, and the characters are very charming.
Second to that, you have the second best sword boy of the entire fucking year, which is Richard the Lionheart, a character to whom I have very complicated feelings, what with him being a king of Britain. But, like, it's important that everyone has a character flaw, and in his case, his character flaw is he thinks England is good.
Thinks King Arthur is English.
Yeah, what the fuck's that about? Arthur, real English name there, you fucks. Especially his best friend Merlin. Yeah, real English.
It's kind of annoying that they convert the name to Altria.
Yeah.
It's like, that's...
You
should have picked something Welsh at least.
That's wrong. And also when they're showing him having this big flashback to the power and the significance of England as a Britain as a country, they show a Welsh monument. Like, I'm so mad.
Yeah, they ate your cultural background, alright?
But he is
Yours, I say. My cultural background is fucking Scottish, like they didn't eat mine.
yeah. But his culture, sorry, but as a character, he is the straightforward. I will show up. I will do swords at it. If that works, woohoo! And that's all he's got. He's so delightful.
Did the sword not work? What if I did it about 100 more times?
I have more sword.
More so, there's always more swords. I mean, that's his power, effectively. There's always another sword.
And
Very cool.
And we also have Flat. Flat Escardos.
That's our jacuzzi.
That's our jacuzzi splot for this series. And Flat, his special ability that he has is Jack the Ripper. But it's not Jack the Ripper the human. It's Jack the Ripper the story.
Clearly, yes.
And that's why Jack the Ripper, one of the things he can do is he can just be anyone. Because he could be anyone. And all of his powers are named after not Jack the Ripper
Elli.
events or places, but after books about Jack the Ripper. And I fucking love that shit. That's great. Ahem.
I do like, for all that I'm talking about, I don't care about figuring it out. I do like the little puzzle of like, ooh, who could that be?
Who could that be? And what does that mean?
Fun. And I am pleased to have worked out more than one of them ahead of time, just because, that makes me feel like a clever boy.
Yeah, you've got a real clever boy. Also, like, the fact that one of the masters is a dog. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like a recurring thing, because I swear I've seen that dog with Enkidu a lot.
Maybe. That would require doing the homework, which I'm trying not to do. And
Though maybe sometimes it's just a dog. Like, it doesn't have to be the one who summoned them.
And a little thing amongst all of this is that there's a point where Sigma it just is confronted with a pair of abusive parents, and it's like, this is not part of the mission. It doesn't matter. Sigma just Sigma when confronted with abusive parents is like, well, okay.
I mean, it took some convincing, but yeah, like that's our chess for this series.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a little boy assassin.
Yeah.
And this is a particularly good one, and I did enjoy that moment, because he's sort of got one of the most complete arcs at this point.
Yeah.
Which is to say, he came in lacking something, and has now very clearly found that something, which is a willingness to kill abusive parents. Oh, how about that? I did care about something.
Mm-hmm. The latex nuns only show up in a couple of splash shots, which is
It has some real fetishy stuff in here, but it's so...
Oh no, yeah, that's definitely, it's definitely bad, and we should make sure that those characters are much more focal so that we can appreciate how bad it is and use it as an example in essays and stuff.
It's so much a part of the background detail that it just feels like it belongs.
You didn't catch them in the last episode,
actually
pushing swords and turning them like they were keys.
I did, yeah.
And another rocket fist.
Rocket fist! Holy
And when it was
fucking
deployed,
shit.
Fox yelled.
Look, I was just so happy, because here's my thing. I do love me a Ryoga Narita story. But one of the common points of overlap, we've talked about the narrative archetypes, this or the lacks. And one of them that I have almost no patience for is your giggling murderer.
The lad.
Yeah, lad is my least favorite thing in Bacano.
One good line and that's it.
I suppose Izzy is that guy in Durara, but he's much more tolerable than the usual. But it's also not it's by no means a Narita specific thing. It's anime in general loves the giggling, dies of nonchalance serial killer.
I would point out that the thing that separates Isaiah from Carter and from Lad is that Isaiah has a boyfriend. As opposed
not
to a
just
girlfriend.
about that.
But please note, the two with girlfriends fucking suck. One with a boyfriend.
Definitely was. Yeah, and it's usually because an anime really when they have that character, they really like that character. So nothing fucking takes out that character. You can't get rid of that guy. Every time he fights, he just gets away for some fucking reason. He's got doom bots or whatever. And, that's kind of true of Carter as well. But it seems like it's gonna happen about 3 times in the big fight sequence he has with the priest character whose name I don't recall.
And Orlando, yeah.
Lando? Orlando?
No, and Orlando.
And Orlando.
No, the big guy who was at that same fight. Orlando. I have him in the notes.
I don't remember that guy.
He's the guy who looks like Maxima from King of Fighters. To be
I don't
the
remember that
least
guy.
helpful reference I could possibly make.
I remember
right?
Maxima from King of Fighters.
Yeah.
That's not King or Vanessa or Rock.
He's on Vanessa's
Mary.
team.
Oh, well, that's definitely why I don't remember him then. No one on her team is worthwhile except for her.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
Anyway, it seems like it's gonna happen like 3 times in that, and every time it gets subverted. And watching that smug cunt just lose another piece of his body when he's trying to do his, "Whoo, you'll never catch me! Oh no!" So fucking satisfying, and the rocket fist is really the crowning moment of that, when he's like, "All right, I'm actually gonna bail." and you know, the person he's fighting like narrowly misses him with this attack, and he's like, "Haha, I am gonna get away with it after all." And then the fist.
The rocket fist.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if I've glazed the fight scenes in this enough, but
They're really good.
combat animation in this is extraordinary.
Like, considering that's most of what carries this series.
What a goddamn delight. Yeah, and that's why I don't mind knowing nothing about the Fate background or whatever. I couldn't give a fuck. I like these characters, and what they're doing looks incredible. It's a delight just to behold.
Yeah.
I do trust this to tell me the rest of the story eventually, but I'm not at all bothered by the stuff that's going over my head at this point. That's fine. I'm having a great time.
Now, we good to move on?
Let's move on.
Because one incredibly glazable sequence of fight scenes to another incredibly glazable sequence of fight scenes.
Uh-huh.
This is Sentenced to Be a Hero.
Yusha Kei ni Shobatsu Yusha.
9004.
I'm just gonna say 9004 Tai Keimu Kiruk.
This is written by Rocket Shokai and illustrated by Mephisto, who is responsible for reincarnated as an aristocrat. I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world.
Oh no, really?
And this series was originally a web novel published
No! Are you fucking with me?
Published on a different website.
Right, yeah. Because this does not have the same That Explains a Lot vibes that the other ones do. Holy shit.
I told you, like 2 days ago when I was making this presentation, I did genuinely tell Fox, you're gonna have to buckle up. A thing is gonna happen.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, is it my turn? I don't know who did the last one.
This is yours.
This is my turn? Okay. This is a dark fantasy series where the pitch is that our main character is a hero, but not because he wants to be like a noble guy who protects people or whatever, because hero is a sentence you receive in this world, where you basically become a combat puppet for the state, and you have to go out and do all kinds of crazy fight shit that no one else could do, and you're not even allowed to die to escape it. They just resurrect you and make you go do it again.
You are a hero in the Mario sense.
You are, actually. Except in this version, the lives are diegetic.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But don't worry, you've got infinite continues. It'll only cost you a little bit of your memory and identity every time.
Yeah, do you remember, do you want help with the names on this one?
I think you're only asking because I probably do remember the names.
I want to make sure you say the names is the important thing. Don't
Oh,
just go, the main character
is named Xylophorbots, which frankly isn't that bad as far as your normal fantasy anime shit goes, especially of this kind. Anyway, this is about him and his fellow misfit penal heroes. That's Dota with the pink hair, who's your little thief guy.
Ooh, yep.
Who else is on this poster? That's His Majesty in the back. I don't know if we know his real name, but that's His Majesty.
Norgal.
Clearly the rightful king of this place.
Uh-huh. You're making in-jokes.
I am. I can't see him on the poster from here, but Tatsuya's got to be in there somewhere. He's an actual brain-dead combat zombie who's been...
Shall I move the mouse and do the highlighting?
Sure.
Okay,
That's
so,
not going to help because I'm looking at it from a different angle to what you are.
So we have Xylo 4 Barts when my
Shit,
mouse
we've already
is over.
done that.
Then we have Tiorita. We'll come
Stop
back
it!
to her.
I'm doing this in my own order. You're just taking over. If you wanted to say the names, you should have just said, I want to say all the names.
And then we have Norgal.
Yeah,
Your
well,
Majesty.
I said daughter. And
Yep.
then I
Daughter.
went to Norgal, and then I was talking about Tatsuya.
Tatsuya, who's here on the cliff.
Who's been resurrected too many times and is now basically a brain-dead combat zombie. And there's nothing else weird about him that you should pay close attention to, and is interesting there's a secret that'll help us later. We got Jace and Neely up in the top corner. That's the Dragon Rider, who we haven't heard his full story yet, but it seems that he got sentenced to be an undying hero for the crime of possession and intent to distribute.
Well, his story is pretty cool. I have been spoiled on some things about the second arc, but like you know how this guy projects like, what are you doing here? You're too nice to have wound up in this job.
He does seem like he wants to fuck the dragon, which is a little sus, but
I
assume that's just my vibe.
That's just your vibe. But like in a lot of ways, he is sentenced for being tremendous.
They're all sentenced for being tremendous. Haven't you noticed this yet?
No, they're not.
Okay. Anyway, Tsav is a literal murderer.
Tsav, the Fire Emblem character nobody likes.
That's your sniper guy, who just doesn't have a brain that includes empathy, which, we have a word for that.
He has a problem with empathy, in that when he's studying his targets, he comes to like them too much as people and can't bring himself to kill them. So he kills someone else at random.
Exactly.
Tsav is a totally normal dude.
I think more accurately, he just said that it's a bit more difficult. It's not that he can't kill them. He could definitely kill them, but he'd rather kill someone who feels easy to kill, like a real asshole.
Yep.
And I don't remember the name of the fucking liar guy.
Venetim.
Who is mostly just doing admin and whatnot. And very late, I guess we also have our artillery, I'm gonna say.
Rhino.
Who we know as Rhino. Anyway, and his little fucking misfit hero squad who accidentally rescue this Terita, a little girl with awesome fucking wick hair, who's also what is called a goddess in this world, which seems to be kind of a combat robot. With magical powers. They're in stasis after having fought a war. So, like, for all intents and purposes, kind of a combat robot.
Yep.
But also seem to take the form of little girls as a rule.
Yep.
And have literally actually fuels them need for praise and adoration.
She's so good.
Manifests as a very pompous child going, praise me, I did good.
I give you permission. To praise me for being so very good.
I'm not going to ask for it.
Why would I ask for it? I mean, we all know. Everyone here knows that it's time to praise me.
And the one main character who is not part of this unit, well, aside from Terita, I guess, and their human friend, who is an uptight female military commander going through some real fucking shit.
Real shit.
Who is, starts off as your foil character who's like, I don't trust you fucking weirdos. We're gonna do things the proper way. Everyone is dead.
I guess we do things the
improper way. Her job is to give Xylo pushback for about the first half of the series, and then to very rapidly escalate into being their only ally among the main military. Who gets why what they're doing is so important and, is maybe like, well, if you guys are refusing to just let the military sacrifice this place for tactical purposes, then I guess I'm with you. She's incredibly cool. In fact, everyone here is really very cool.
Do you want her name, by the way?
I know her name. It's Kivia.
Yes. And behind her, one last character on the poster.
Oh, who else is there?
There's Xylo's spoiler 11th hour wife.
Oh, yes, she is. She's right in the back there. Her name I can't remember. I'll let you do that one.
It's Frenchie Masterbolt.
Oh, that's why I can't remember. Because she has the worst name in the whole show. Well, that's not true because there is a villain whose name is Boojum. But she's the worst human.
Boojum, you can get through Boojum quickly, though. Like, Boojum's a short name. Frenchie Masterbolt.
Masterbolt is a very bad name. Like, his name is Xylo Forbart, so you gotta be like, oof, well, at least you're getting married, and her family's the rich side of it, so you probably take her name, right? What's her name? Oh.
Xylo Masterbolt.
Masterbolt, huh? Okay, well, that's cool.
Edgy dark fantasy.
I thought, this looked good. It obviously had high production
Holy
values,
shit, yes.
and I thought the character designs were pretty sick. So I had this on my I'm kind of interested list, despite the fact that I expected it to be worthlessly edgelord shit. Like, I don't trust dark fantasy anime.
No!
Every time I'm just like, cool. We all understand that dark fantasy is code for how long it will take for a sexual assault to occur,
Yeah,
right?
it's time to rape threat, in the same way that you have time to stat script.
Yes. And I was so pleasantly surprised
Holy
by
shit.
this. This whips. This is really good. This deserves to be the next big thing that it is definitely obviously going to be with, like, the Attack on Titan crowd or whatever.
Yep.
This is going to be the one.
I love all these characters. Every single one of them has something about them that adds some depth to them. They're not just the joke on the tin, and they're all really good. Even, like, Sav sucks. Sav is awful, but Sav backs it up. Like, when you have a character like Sav in a lot of other situations, it's like, why do we have this fucking liability of an asshole with us? And then they have actual fights, and you're like, oh, that's why they keep Sav around. Holy shit.
Right, and the whole thing has kind of got that Suicide Squad sort of pitch to it at first, or it's like, you know, these guys are shit, but they're also expendable, so, you know, let's use our shit expendable guys.
And you're gonna have some characters who show up in that space, which is why I compared it to a Fire Emblem character, which are just some grist for the mill.
Yeah,
we're gonna watch these characters get killed, so they obviously put in a guy who we won't mind seeing get killed.
Yeah, I really thought that was why the other characters started showing up. I did not imagine Tatsuya was going to survive more than one episode.
Holy shit.
The whole point was just, well, I mean...
We're gonna keep seeing Tatsuya die. Turns out we're not, because Tatsuya's a fucking monster.
Yeah, everybody's just delightfully fucking good at what they do, and the show is not. Weirdly, despite the fact that the premise explicitly says, I can kill someone for a cheap pop, and they're coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was going to happen in the second episode when we get our first sort of big boss fight.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I mean, obviously, the sensible way to have this end in your edgy dark fantasy is to have this be the first time we see the hero die. Which, you know, it's not going to happen a lot. It's going to happen almost immediately, so we understand the stakes of, like, you know, what he's actually going to lose if he dies. And then, you know, we will understand that it's still kind of a threat, even though it's obviously not a threat like it would be, particularly in a dark fantasy thing, where, you know, promising that they might actually fucking kill someone is kind of their bread and butter.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of shows where in the first season you'll have a character die, and then it will be treated as if that threat is looming over everything. But then 6 seasons later, it's like, no one's gonna die. No one died except that one guy in the first season. We all act like that was the worst thing.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, that might sound like it's structured to be a jab at Attack on Titan, but I don't know. And I would just be repeating a joke.
Oh no, in Attack on Titan they didn't kill the guy.
Anyone could die, maybe.
But definitely not her.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking great.
This show's great.
I had a really big plot issue with it.
Yeah.
Which is to say
yeah,
that...
you did,
like,
and you were right.
We find out very early on that Xylo is sentenced for being tremendous.
Yeah.
Which is the case with several of these characters.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. One of them is apparently sentenced for uncovering the reptilians.
Yep.
Though, given some later information, I'm not sure how true that is either. In fact, everything that we see in those flashbacks could be a lie based on what was said in the last episode.
Yep.
Or what's said in the last episode could be a lie that frames all of that shit in a way that will win over a particular character.
But there is a joke from Dota, which I greatly appreciate, because Dota was sentenced for doing something specific.
Dota was sentenced for being tremendous.
He was sentenced for being tremendous, but the best thing is, after it, he mentions, like, and if they knew how much I steal, yeah, they probably would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
I love these characters so much. They're such good people.
So Xylo is doing the Dishonored arc.
Yeah.
He is blatantly heroic and has done nothing wrong, but the thing he had to do for the sake of being a hero was terrible, and he feels guilty about it.
And it creates distance between him and Tiaretta because he doesn't want to get emotionally hurt by losing another weapon of mass destruction that's also a little girl.
But that's neither here nor there. The point is, it's very strongly indicated that the reason he gets stuck with this, despite blatantly being heroic, is that he is being set up by a conspiratorial element within the church and its governmental and the area of the government it influences. Essentially, there is a conspiracy who's like, yes, we will have this guy take the fall for the thing because we don't want people to know about X, Y, Z, and whatever. And I was really annoyed when they pulled that out because I'm like, okay, the whole reincarnating hero thing is a good pitch, and I'm excited to see what you do with it. But that is the stupidest thing you could do with someone who has run afoul of your conspiracy. If he has information you need no one else to know, the dumbest thing you could do with his sentence is make sure he can never die. Right? That's just stupid. That's a really bad play. And it repeats a bit with Venetim.
Yeah.
And with Dota.
Yeah.
And hang on, there's a fucking pattern here. And it's very interesting that they provide a completely plausible explanation for all of this in the last episode.
Yeah.
That might also be a lie.
Yeah. This shows
But
some
if
complexity
it
to it.
is, then what else are they doing? And like, yeah, good, alright, you explained that just enough to make me go, okay, you did think about that at least. It's not that you were stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you made a decision early on and now you're covering it up and pivoting, but either way, you noticed that this was a problem and you did something about it.
So, one thing we know about this series is that, in addition to being web serialized, it has also had an editorial restructure for the anime.
Oh.
Which has included, amongst other things, outfit updates. Which is why... Okay, so Fox, as an outfit opinion haver, what do you think of Kivia's look?
Stupid hat, but otherwise very cool. I like that she's not singled out and doesn't get a stupid girlified version of the soldier uniform or any of that shit.
Yes, that's good, isn't it?
Did she get a stupid girlified version in the original?
So the original, I've looked at original cover art for the web novels that were then printed, and Tiaretta, like, completely exposed from neck to navel, with, like, little strips going over her boobs.
Oh, no! They did the fucking child underboob thing.
And Kivia's outfit has completely exposed thighs, and I'm just, like, really glad that they did a second pass. They went, look, this will look better if we do, like, we are doing a different version of this story. We are improving on some things, and I fucking love that.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing you could do with your one girl character in a series like this, but it does. I do hate it because when you're selling the idea that you're a dark fantasy where, like, things are grounded in reality, even though you have your main character do, like, rocket dagger flight and stupid shit like, magic exists. Magic blatantly exists. That's not a problem, but this is not a show where everyone is wearing stupid, wacky, over-designed JRPG costumes.
Yeah, everyone's outfits are really
grounded. That's part of why I wanted to watch this in the first place. I'm like, no one here looks blatantly over-designed.
Yeah.
Actually really like what you all got going on. Like, that's a little bit weird. You don't look like ordinary people, but that's good. You shouldn't. You're the characters we're meant to care about. You should look distinctive. You just shouldn't look stupid.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, it'd be one thing for Teorita to have a weird costume because she's a literal goddess. Though I'm still incredibly glad they took out the child underboob.
Yeah.
I played too many Fire Emblems to be okay with that. But it would be another thing entirely to act like Kivia, who is the most human out of everyone.
Yeah.
Is the one person who doesn't need to care about, like, dressing sensibly for her job.
And like, easily the most serious and straight-laced person in the room.
Yeah, that's her whole thing.
Yeah.
The only reason you would have bare thighs on that character is because you have not thought about how she would dress, but rather how much of her body you want to see.
Yeah. Well, I think I could go on about this series at length. Indeed, speak up on Patreon if you want me to do so. But
This might get a story pile eventually.
yeah, in the interest of time, I think we should move on.
Is there anything you wanted to highlight before we moved on? Because I talked a lot, and you didn't talk that much.
Okay, here's what I will say. Almost every single character in this troupe either could have been a D&D character I would have already made and played and would be one of my best friend's favorite characters, or might wind up being one. Because they're such good concepts.
They are. All of this is so doable in 4th ed. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Like, there's going to be a How to Be article about Sentence to be a Hero.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, also really like the magic item system in this world, where you've got like a very industrialized, mass-produced form of magic, especially in like artillery and shit, and it's just very cool how physical a lot of it is.
Rhino's armor. Rhino's armor planting its feet and then spikes coming out to ground
the
it.
fucking spikes.
That's so good.
Yeah, that rules.
And indeed, the fact that Rhino is a really good artilleryman because he could do math.
Yes.
And by the way,
Very
he's
cool.
sentenced because he volunteered because he wants to fight. Which is to say, someone looked at this guy and went, what a fucking freak.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else here is a fucking freak. Why not him too?
Love it. Love to see it.
Anyway, yes, the one good king in anime. Moving on.
And now, breaking glass sound. What's that? Why? It's Dead Accounts music.
Did Talen insert dead account into the slideshow while we were speaking?
I have. Dead Account is now on screen and you can't see it and there's no text to go with it.
Hey!
But look, I don't want to spend a lot of time on Dead Account because they didn't, but Dead Account is a very limited series. Look, have you watched some of JJK, of Jujutsu Kaisen? Because if you've watched some of Jujutsu Kaisen, you've seen all of Dead Account. It's nakedly an attempt to be somewhat like that. A lot of the characters can be like, you can draw very direct parallels. Story structure and scene structure is almost the same. But the area where I will say Dead Account kind of has it over Jujutsu Kaisen is Dead Account's women do more shit, which is an embarrassing indictment of Jujutsu Kaisen, not a testimony to how good Dead Account is. Because Dead Account's girls, while they are great, while I like them a lot, they are really, really pushing it in this series of extremely mid shit.
Yeah, Dead Account is another series where I really wanted it to be good. Because I like the pitch of what if we take Japanese ghost lore and we apply that to internet media. We apply that to the current age. We apply that to smartphones and fucking accounts.
And Twitter is haunted.
You know,
which it is.
Yeah, what if Twitter was fucking haunted? Because that's a cool, spooky idea. That's really interesting. What if we contrast old traditional exorcists with shitty little punk kids who, they're digital natives, so they understand this in a way that we can't, but they're still shitty little kids. And, it's a good pitch. It's a fun pitch. This has no budget.
No.
And is written with such incompetence.
Yeah.
It's a bog standard shonen, with the veneer of an interesting story, and then you realize that they've just done nothing worthwhile with it.
There's a lot of dumb things that are just padding, like the fact that they show characters' health as a power battery on their phones. There are some germs of ideas here, like these young people are the ones who can interface with cyber magic
that's quite interesting.
Because all the people who knew magic before the internet was a thing learned it without it, and that means that there's actually a gap and there's a translation problem.
And the fact that they effectively have to use, well, they say an analog converter, but we know what that's called. That's a modem.
Yep.
They have to use a fucking modem.
Uh-huh.
And that's cool too, because then you can be like, well, this is why the super powerful teachers and everything can't just step in and solve all the shit, because this is just harder for them. And then when you see the new cool shit, you're like, oh wow, that's what they're like even with this power limiter on.
Yeah. And
all the pieces are there.
And broadly speaking, it's an anime that probably could have been pretty good if instead of making it now, they made it 2 years from now with a better budget and with more time to do editorial rewrites and let it cook a little.
It's like 4 times the budget.
But
also, the character designs are
mid.
very charmless.
The best 3 character designs are the 3 main girls, and they're not that like okay. I like.
I mean,
Yori's
one of
a
those
lot.
is just default girl. Like,
Yeah.
that's the point of her appearance.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm not really counting her either.
Do you mean Eru, the landmine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Her whole thing is girl next door persona at the moment, so she just looks like the most average anime girl ever.
Yeah. This is not about the girls of the show. The show is about a guy called Soji. I don't fucking care. The best thing, the funniest and like best like dramatic moment in this series is where 2 of the girls are fighting and one of them pulls the move of, "Hey, I have photographic evidence that I fucked your Oshi." And the response is, "You fool, I've seen all of his pictures and I know the ones you shopped for that." Which is beautiful and characterization driven and very, very funny. And then they take it as an excuse to rip all the girls' clothes off and have them fight in a bath. And it fucking sucks because
Inexplicably, the girls start tearing each other's clothes off.
this is a stupid anime for bozos being made on no budget. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because we have something important to talk about. Do you?
I want to shit on it a little bit more for the character designs.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how I talked about no one in this being over-designed? Yeah, just imagine Dead Account is the opposite of that. It's like,
Yeah.
if you took, like, a Bleach or a JJK or what's that other popular ghost thing? I can't even remember. Soul Eater, that's what people say it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if you just took one of them and you were like, okay, let's make sure everyone's personality has exactly only one note.
Yep.
But we're gonna, like, ramp up how we represent that in their design. So everyone is just, staring around the corner of the schoolroom going, "Look at me, I'm so unique. I bet you can't work out what my single personality trait is."
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Dead Account, you should also, on Patreon, pester me to write about it. Because, like, it's actually worth pulling apart in pieces just to hear it scream.
On the other hand, Hiyori did nothing wrong and deserves to be in a better show.
Hiyori is so good.
She's
Hiyori
perfect.
deserves to be in a better show. Absolutely. 100% agreed. We love a girl with a proactive attitude and a problem-solving behavior and also who doesn't want to go outside because that is hard. Leave me alone, please. We stand a toxic gamer girl.
And, yeah, kicks your ass in fight games, lol.
She will stomp you up and down and then make fun of your corpse. She is so good. All right, okay. Enough of that.
Enough crap, what's good?
Okay. Hey, load. Here we
Where
go.
we find out the slideshow is broke. No, it's working.
Written and illustrated by Tomoko Yamashita. Journal with Witch.
Iko Kaniki.
This was serialized in Shodensha's Josei manga magazine. Feel Young.
Is it Josei, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly what it is.
Ooh.
Oh, it is my turn to pitch, isn't
Well, no,
it?
you did send it to be a hero, but like,
Yeah, but you did Dead Account, technically
Oh,
speaking.
yeah, I guess. but like, you should do
Yeah,
Journal with
okay.
Witch.
This is just trying to do the plot summary, not
Get wrapped up.
just glaze the
gushing.
show out of the gate. This is the story of how 2 women in very different circumstances, one of whom is a novelist who has always lived alone, and one of whom is a high school girl, being accidentally brought together when our younger character, Asa, loses her parents in a car crash just out of fucking nowhere. And her aunt, this is Makio, in a fit of rage at everyone around her, just kind of sucking in this moment, offers to take her into her incredibly private life where there's definitely no room for everyone else. And the beautiful awkwardness of these 2 people trying to care for each other in impossibly difficult circumstances. And growing and changing, and there's a reason that there's cactuses in the poster.
It's an odd English title, but not completely incomprehensible.
Yeah, it's more accurately something like is a Journal of a Strange Land or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Journal with Witch is a very good interpretation of that, because I think witch in English doesn't convey what it ought to convey, because Asa's sense toward Makio is, like, she calls her an empress in the first
It's
episode.
more mystic.
Yeah, it's more reverent than it is, like, fearful and judgy, like which would normally be in English.
Yeah.
So it's an odd choice, but whatever. I can get over that. Because setting that aside, this show is fucking incredible.
It's almost at this point where I want to make an index and like make part of the slides like how many times did I spot Fox crying?
There's a reason Talen saved this for last, because like he knew this is this is probably my favorite anime I've seen. Maybe ever. This might be my favorite. This is, maybe it's just because I'm 40 now, but
yeah,
like it's so upsettingly mature in how it deals with the subject matter. The part of the complication of the story is that Asa's mom is a very difficult person. She's a perfectionist. She's incredibly controlling. She's very bossy. She's a people pleaser. Her entire life has been about being what is expected of her. And Makio is super autistic.
Holy shit! God's most autistic soldier.
And when she was a teenager, very clearly came upon the realization of like, if I mask, I will fucking die. So I can't even pretend that I'm going to. I will not try.
Yeah.
So there's been a rift between them forever, and at the point where she picks up this teenager who her sister has left behind. Just another one of the shitty things her sister has done. She has such complicated feelings about this scenario because she can't get away from hating her sister. And none of that belongs to this poor kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, because she is who she is, the way she communicates this is just by explaining this to the teenager
straight up
in no uncertain terms. That like, this is how things are. Don't ask me what I think of your mother. It's not your fault.
Yeah. Which by the way, just the in character, the thoughtlessness of that. As an author, the fucking courage to dig a hole for your protagonist, for half of your protagonists, and to then walk out of it, not climb out of it. She just, it's like, here it is, we're going to put that on the shelf, and it's going to be there, and you never have to look at it. And it's the whole fucking show, because Makio is grieving too.
Yeah. I mean, not in the way that Asa is, definitely.
Yeah.
But the show is about, you know, in many ways it is about discovering who that third woman is who now isn't there to advocate for herself or to clear up any misunderstandings or to say sorry. And gradually coming to understand the ways in which they can in fact get her shit. Even Makio at the end of it, especially in the last episode, when she has this flash of like, how did you do this for 14 years? When she's realizing, like, she doesn't want to be a parent. She's not happy about being a parent. But, you know, the alternative would be abandoning this kid, and she can't do that.
Yeah.
And Asa is very... At first I thought this was going to be, like, non-overlapping autism and ADHD kind of scenario, but I don't actually think... I don't read Asa that way by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we get of her dissociating and stuff is just...
Trauma.
It's like something terrible happened to her or something.
Yeah.
And so we settle into this rhythm of her having just, like, perfectly normal teenage anxiety and uncertainty and... you know, the desire to be a person with any kind of presence or, like, identity versus the idea to not, versus the compulsion to not fucking rock the boat, lest someone make fun of you for
having dead parents.
Literally anything. And so many sort of mundane sort of not evil, not shitty, but under the circumstances not okay feelings. Like there's one point where her close friend Emily, who she's been with since they were little kids, is having a bad moment talking to one of her other friends, and she recalls the event where Asa's parents die, and her first response to that being like, oh, I can't ever stop being her friend now. And like, holy fucking shit!
Who puts that line down?
Who puts that line down? But it's amazing, because, like, no one is virtuous to a fault, and no one is entirely shit, and that's the whole thing about us as mom as well. Like, once we see enough of her, she's really sympathetic, because she didn't want to do this either. She didn't want to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to get married even necessarily, but you can't not get married, especially when all your high school friends are getting married. And we even find out that her husband, well, I mean, they weren't married. The father of her child was like, I don't want to get married. Like, I'm not going to abandon you with the kid. I'll be present. But he's like fully checked out in all the flashbacks and everything because he's never cared about this, or rather, he doesn't know how to care about this. And that's the whole fucking thing. Like, everyone it never stops being complicated. And that's realistic in a way that anime are not, most of the time. And even, like, live action dramas aren't. Live action dramas are mostly extremely stupid. And this is so fucking raw and real and amazing. And I haven't even talked about how it looks yet. The animation on this is incredible. Fucking hell, it's amazing. The expressiveness, the faces in this, every character design. Makiyu might be the hottest anime woman in the world. I'm not just saying that because there were multiple times when I was like, oh, Talen, I need you were looking away. I need you to rewind that, and because she just mead on the screen. Oh, fuck me. It is an absolutely incredible show.
You're tearing up a little.
Yeah, of course I am. I have been for like 5 straight minutes at this point. I'm sure chat noticed it in my voice.
That's not sorry. I provided that information not because I think you don't know, but because they can't see you.
Yeah, of course I am.
To be glib, the thing I love about this series is that I have known both these women and married them. But what I deeply love about this show, and this is going to sound like I'm making fun at first, and I'm not, but what I deeply love about this show is how much it reminds me of superhero fiction.
Oh, yeah?
Because you have these two characters who are shown being creative. This isn't just a matter of the story tells us she is a writer. And, Makio is a writer and Asa is journaling. They show us some of Makio's writing. They show us some of Asa's journaling. And then they take their creativity in different directions. So we get to learn about what these characters think good creative output looks like, what they are satisfied with, what they are upset by, what they struggle with. And one of them is an intense writer who would like you to leave her alone while she prawn modes for 24 hours. And the other one has a notebook full of songs that if anyone got to hear them, they might die from their heart bursting with joy. There is intense sincerity in both of these women's approach to creating, and we get to see that because this show doesn't just have them described as creators. It shows them creating, and it shows us their inner lives as creative people. And the best superhero fiction is the one where you can look at the superhero identity and go, oh, that person thinks that identity makes sense, and that there is stuff you can learn about the character. Batman chooses to look like a bat, not because he thinks villains will think bats are scary. He doesn't go that extra step. He thinks bats are scary because he's scared of bats. And the result is all this other stuff that comes out of Batman going, what does a scary guy look like? Batman is a monster person crafted by the person who becomes Batman. And Journal with Witch, most perfect ending theme drop in an anime ever. Holy shit.
Sorry.
No, go.
I was going to...
This is your show.
follow on from that, because this is a very good point, and in fact, obviously there's a lot more of this story, but what we do get is a very satisfying arc, particularly because they draw it to a close with that sort of thesis on creativity.
Yeah.
With Makio declaring in no uncertain terms that she has never written for anyone but herself. Something I can easily fucking identify with. And Asa only being able to complete her creative work when she is explicitly doing it to make someone else feel better.
Different creativity. And what was the line her friend shouted at her?
I witness you. That was real interesting.
This line, this anime is full of lines of dialogue that sit in the mind like a burning coal.
Yeah, that's the other thing about, the show don't tell aspect of the creativity here, which is we've got it often doesn't come across in the subtitles so well, especially when Asa is logging the slagging off that her aunt does.
Her aunt swears.
Which, well, not even.
They're
but
not really swears.
In the English subtitles she describes it as being sort of like vicious or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think the actual content of it is that it, like, she does really highbrow insults.
Yeah.
Like, she calls things inane, and, like, it's implied she uses, college-level words, as it were.
Yeah. As opposed to you who would yell, "You fucking cunting shite."
Hey, I can get you a goblin who does both.
I did.
I didn't need inane described to me.
What's this in Arne?
That's Japanese. Yeah. There's a lot of really poetic language in this, even in the sub. Which, like, often when there's a story about a writer or a poet or something in an anime, it doesn't land. Their talent is not convincing, at least as translated. And I never had that problem with what they had for Makio in here, so I just think they did a really good job.
Yeah.
Also, Asa's voice actor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes. Yeah, actually, yes. Button with that, because holy shit, I couldn't let that go.
Because her big thing isn't just songwriting, she wants to sing. In particular. In fact, it's ambiguous right up until the end whether she's gonna successfully write or not. But she's definitely gonna sing. And what I was so fucking impressed by is that we hear her singing a couple of times, like early on in the series where it's just sort of offhandedly to something that's on the TV or whatever, and that sounds more or less as you would expect it to sound, but she's good enough that the characters around her do go, oh, she's pretty good. And the first time she chooses to like actually perform it for someone, like it's just on a webcam call, it's not important or anything, but it's what you would expect from that kind of scenario. Like, she's not really going for it. It's a casual, it's not, she's not trying to impress anyone, as such, and the actor once again really sells that, in a way that's like, well, it's not that you're bad at singing, it's that you're not confident, and you're not trying that hard. But, like, your pitch is there, and all the baseline shit is where it needs to be. And then we hear her practicing without really thinking about it, like forgetting that even her aunt is in the room while she's getting into it, and then suddenly turning around and being like, "Oh, sorry, was I too loud?" And in that scene, she's really good. Like, she's performance quality good. And it all finally wraps up in the scene where she performs it at school, which is very good, but also, like, quite shaky and lacking in that confidence until she builds up steam and really starts selling it. And what I'm getting at is that each of these is a perfect performance for the context it's meant to be delivered in. And once you're a good singer, it's really fucking hard to do all of those convincingly.
You've got to be real good to be a little bit bad.
But only a little bit bad. Like, it's easy to be very bad. But it's hard to be shaky when you're confident. And it's hard to not really go for it once you know how to go for it. I was just so impressed with it as a dramatic performance of singing.
Yeah.
And I was really delighted by that as a detail of this show.
No notes.
No notes except just effusive praise.
In a lot of ways, Journal with Witch can be seen as like a counterpoint to Zenshu. Like where Zenshu is all about this permanent self-doubt and not knowing the self as an artist. Journal with Witch has a lot of, like, Makio knows herself. Anyway. Some final thoughts.
Oh, also, another ball of fat friend.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I can't actually remember
the other rad fat friend.
Yeah, I feel really bad about it because I can't remember her
don't
name.
think she got a name.
We must know it because she introduces herself with a business card with a cool fucking drawing on it because she's also an artist.
Yeah, other forms of creativity.
Ah, she's so cool. She's a very minor character.
But she does ball out some guys who are being a problem.
Yeah, she rules.
Take up space. Demand people adhere.
Listen, fat girls have your back.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was cool again, and especially in the way that she, the friends you hang out with change, and it's not always a bad thing, and it's not always a good thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah. As far as final thoughts for the season go, you got more for Journal of the Witch?
Oh, I was just also gonna say, oh yeah, we also have some trans representation and some lesbian representation.
Oh yeah.
Which, I forgot about those amidst everything else that's good. But yeah, this show is unapologetically queer. Even if it's not explicit about its main characters. And in particular, there's a scene where Makio, after hanging out for like the first time with Emily, the best friend, is like, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like you'd like this DVD. And gives her what is clearly a coming of age queer movie. To say, I don't know if you're ace or gay, but either way, you want this.
Yeah, sniped through the duplex once again.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Sorry. All right, now I think we can go on to wrap up.
Actual final thoughts for the season. If you've got normie friends who are kind of curious about the sorts of things anime can do, but they're turned off by a lot of very anime bullshit, show them Journal with Witch.
That's a good one.
It's just a better looking, more contained, excellent... Like, it's more commitment than a dramatic coming-of-age movie, but it isn't as... It's not a Netflix series, it's not overproduced, and it's not melodramatic. It's intense.
I've considered pitching it to my sister, who, actively doesn't like fantasy.
Yeah.
So we share very little taste in media.
If you're in the space for dark, edgy fantasy, if you want the laser sword quotient that I so often complain about, yeah, Send Us to Be a Hero is just a top-of-the-line type of show of its type that is, again, surprisingly light on what we generally refer to as the anime bullshit. And
surprisingly light.
And if you want something that's a little, sloppy, a little less demanding, but still, a good, well-structured story, and you're going to see some fat tits, Grail of Eris is really quite good.
And if you want something that is just, a shamelessly indulgent delight, you could do a lot worse than Fake Strange Fake.
Yeah.
You just want to see some sick fucking fights and some incredible animation with a bunch of people who are fun to be around.
I have been whining about the types of anime we've been watching now for almost a year and a half. Like, I haven't had a season where I've had the problem that I had today. Well, not today, making this slideshow, which is I couldn't pick which 3 anime to put on the first slide.
Oh, I could. I wouldn't have had any trouble.
You wouldn't have had any trouble. And I don't know if you remember this because it was 2.5 hours ago.
You got it right. Oh, no, you got it right.
But, like,
That's
you know, there's still room. There was still room for others to edge around. Like, Tamon-kun looks fucking incredible.
And I would rate Eris higher if I don't actually like the art style very much.
Yeah.
There's some character designs I like and some that I don't, but overall there's a bit too much of that, little girl doll face with the extremely upturned nose and the very straight drop straight down to the chin.
Yeah.
That I just don't really...
Horse face.
I wouldn't call it that. The whole point is that it's too short.
No, sorry.
Too upturned.
Like shape it. When you look at it from the side, it looks like a horse. I might be misunderstanding. Like a My Little Pony thing. Anyway.
They do kind of look like My Little Pony. Like the new style with the tiny little nose and the...
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not new anymore. That's not the point. Anyway, in any other season, Eris might have been in the top.
And also, what the hell is going on with web publication these days? Holy fuckballs.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's a democratization effect.
Yeah.
Going on with all this self-publishing shit, and it's not surprising that it's continuing to gain momentum. You know, you're not gonna beat Shonen Jump in a few years, but you know, there's a lot of energy in that area, and a lot of what comes out of it is gonna be shit, and some things that come out of it are gonna be kind of amazing, or you could just be fucking Ryoga Narita writing a goddamn fanfic. That the company then says, hey, what if that was for realsies?
A fanfic TTRPG.
Oh my god.
He cannot be stopped.
He can't be. No. The man is unstoppable.
This was heaps of fun. I'm loving the chance I was able to do this. And also, I love that there was so much good stuff to talk about here.
This was kind of a banger season.
I don't know if you know this, but when I timestamp these things, I get an idea of how much time we had to talk about each different thing. And eyeballing it, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've had more good things to say about good shows than... Like, normally we do a lot of good, healthy complaining. And that's because other seasons I've, like, through bad judgment, wound up with us watching fucking goddamn Toa and Yugure. Because, like, it's got a laser sword. Can we watch something with a laser sword?
Yeah, listen, when something is bad, I want to complain about every way it's bad. But...
Dead account.
You know, often when something is good, everything about it is good. So
Yeah.
It's hard to pick out every individual thing. But sometimes everything about it is good, so you have to pick out every individual thing. Did I mention the child services worker? Gosh, it's great to have a character just advocating for a child without complication.
Hey, do you know how you were afraid that the big conclusion was going to be her getting together with the other guy? And she doesn't, and it's just...
I mean, they didn't finish like that, but it's definitely implied that they are back together romantically. And that relationship is good and is progressing towards a more stable form. And maybe it's not. Maybe I've misread that. I'd be really delighted if it was just adults can be friends, and even, like, intimate friends who love and care about each other without it needing to be romantic. Even if it used to be romantic,
yeah,
that would be amazing in a story. And if a story was gonna do it, it'd probably be this one, because I've never read something so just fucking mature about relationships as this. I didn't read it. That's not the point.
You might wind up, like, if I
get a hold of this in English, I'm having this. I want this.
This is...
I want every page of this that exists.
So I went looking on our local import.
Yeah, because you know when something's going to become my favorite.
Import store, and just went, hey, do you have all of this in English? Ideally with all the spines being the same color, because that's important.
I don't think this is going to get more than one English
No.
printing. So I don't think that part will be a problem. But, I've got to stay alert for it because when it does show up,
Alright.
one needs to acquire it then.
This was heaps of fun. I loved doing this. We are stopping it now because the goblin needs to sleep.
Well, we're stopping it after saying thank you for listening. And our final thoughts are, this was a pretty great season. There are at least 6 Rocket Fists.
6 Rocket Fists!
And at least 3 fat friends.
Yes!
And a whole lot of gay girls.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking sick.
And even one gay guy, even if he's in dead account and kind of sucks.
Tremendously sucks.
Anyway.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the jizz friend.
All
right.
Yeah, not every shows don't need
for another
We're not
time.
going to talk about the jizz friend.